This is the Troll Patrol. Live. With Justin Freakin.
I almost said fuck the stream and let's watch the Linkin Park count up for a little longer. Welcome to the Troll Patrol Live. It's a freaking Wednesday, right? Yes. Warlord, Dougie, Snappa, good evening. Clinically, that is a mighty fine dick you have there. Mr. Elwood, no more Lincoln. Now we gotta find out what that news be doing. We gotta talk to our friend. I'm gonna have to ask him to say his name for me. Arthemesia. I think I'm close. We're gonna talk to Arthemesia here in just the next few minutes. I think it's gonna be a fun conversation. He and I have been talking about music. We've been talking about music all day. We really hit it off. Soup, good evening. Mod mode off. This could be a wild one tonight. I do know the news is wild. Even if the discussion with Arthemesia doesn't get wild, I know the news is. God damn, is the news wild tonight. We're going to talk about Mpox. I don't even remember what it was about. Something bad, probably. There's a typhoon getting ready to hit the coast of Japan. We've got new photos of the assassination attempt that the FBI has released. Arlington National Cemetery confirms there was an encounter between a Trump aide, a physical encounter apparently, between a Trump aide and a high-ranking staff member of the cemetery. Trump and Brian Kemp in Georgia have apparently buried the hatchet. I'm going to show you how you can get a piece of the suit that Trump wore at the debate where he crushed Joe Biden. And if you are dumb enough to want a piece of that suit, or the NFT about that suit, you might also want a Trumpy trout. I'm going to show you a commercial for a Trumpy trout. John Cena's apparently been following a lot of hate accounts. Businesses in a community raised money for a kid after the government shut down his ice cream stand. A boy shattered a Bronze Age jar. I got video of a Waymo car driving the wrong way into traffic. Woman who jumped the fence to pet a tiger has been charged. A pre-law student fled the scene of an accident in New York. A police chase ended with a decapitated Bob's Big Boy. A customer pulls a steak knife on another customer. A liquor store owner pulls a gun on would-be robbers. Little baby apparently got arrested. And some shit's going down in Fort Worth in tonight's... What the fuck is up with Fort Worth? All that and a lot freaking more tonight on the Troll Patrol Live. Llama, good evening. Ducky, Mary Jane, Flash, Soup. So glad to see everyone. Battle Opossum. Clinically, welcome in. Mr. Elwood. Glad to have you. Flash, did I tell you good evening? I might be just stoned enough for this shit. We do have a guest. Fucking shit. Hold on, my friend. I forgot to, my stoner ass. Forgot to turn on my, split cam. Oh, hold! They're already wanting me to smoke the weed again. I might not be I might be too high for this shit, to be honest. Interesting. Yeah, I fucked myself up now. Boom. There we go. Always love it when we're getting shit done. Okay, I am really bad about fucking names up. So I'm sorry if I fuck yours up. Arthemesia, is that close?
I think so. I think it's...
You think so?
Yeah.
You don't even know how to pronounce your own name.
No, there's so many different pronunciations of it. Arthemesia, Artemisia.
What do you say?
I usually go with Arthemesia. But I've had people correct me, and then actually I've had people fight over the name. Some people call me Artie, but my actual name is Nick.
Do you want to be called Nick? What do you want to go by?
Yeah, Nick works.
Call me Justin. You can call me Freak Daddy, whatever you want.
Hey, sounds good to me. Is my camera working?
Doesn't appear to be.
Do I have to turn this off for that to work? That's weird. Just try to get...
Boom! There we go.
Alrighty.
Because
Yeah,
my chat was really complimentary of your hair, so I'm glad. And I dig your guitars in the background.
thank you. That's. I wonder why it's reversed. Like that's weird. It can't
Oh,
reverse somehow.
Discord's
How did
like that. You can flip it.
Let's see if this controller will work now.
I think it's in the settings.
Let's see.
I like that somebody corrected me on your name, Ducky, and wanted me to call you Ducky.
Where is...
Speaking of which, since we're talking about names, that was one of the things you said in your video about me was like, what a weird name, JustinFREAKIN. I'm like, Arthemesia is saying I got a weird fucking name. What?
No, exactly. That was kind of... I'm not great at telling jokes. I've never been good at delivery, to be honest. I try every now and then. I just kind of say things that are funny on my mind, and that came across probably not exactly the best way to do it. My name being as weird as it is, I like to point out at everyone else's names, even when they're not that weird, to just call them weird.
As an editor, like a quick cut to like your channel name with your logo or something, like we really would have drove that home that point, and like the joke would have really come through.
Yeah, I'm just getting into video editing. I've always done audio. It's been a weird journey to learning how to do it, video editing in general, and I'm getting there. I think just learning how to make everything look better with lighting in general was a huge help.
Lighting is really important.
Absolutely, it's way more important than the camera. I found out. I had no idea.
Absolutely,
this camera looks amazing, and it's literally an $80 Logitech like little webcam.
Man, I bought a much more expensive camera than this one, and it shit the bed on me, and I had to go back to this one. And I'm just like, fuck it. Yeah, do you play music, or are you an engineer? What do you do?
Oh, mainly music. I record myself. I had a full setup to record a band, and then a couple times of that being really bad. I won't name what they were, but they were...
Man, if you can get you a studio going, that's like prime money, especially if you engineer for people. That's some good dough right there.
Yeah, I really wanted to get into it, and then I just hated the process of working with people who...
Creatives are difficult.
Yeah, they are. Very difficult. Because, I got some pretty decent amps, and, I used to have different ones back in the day. I had a 5153 and a Mesa Mark IV. And a lot of people think that they have their own sound, not really understanding what that means. Would try to have me reamp them through like a really crappy Line 6 speaker or something like that, and it just came across really bad. And I was like, I don't think you all understand. It's not going to work in a mix like this. This amp is so shrill that whenever... It's just crazy. Whenever the drummer would hit a cymbal, like just a ride cymbal or something really hard, those signals would compete with each other so hard it would just clip. And you know, you got to figure out how to balance those signals together.
Yep,
to where
yep,
they
yep.
don't compete with each other, or it just sounds like a nasty mess. And eventually, I kind of got some advice, and they were like, "Look, just go ahead and reamp their amps through a good amp, and tell them it was their bad amp." And I was like, "Oh, okay, we'll see how that works." And they couldn't tell. They could not tell it wasn't their amp, and they said, "See, this turned out exactly the way we thought it would." And I was like, "Yep, you're absolutely right. Go tell everyone that was your amp."
There you go. Part of being an engineer is like being a salesperson as well, and having people think that your idea was their idea.
Pretty much.
Yep,
Yeah, exactly.
yep, passing that shit. And that's a lot of business too. That's how you get ahead in the business world.
Oh yeah, but I just have a lot of fun recording myself. I need to get a band together or something, but with kids, it's just been difficult. And
Oh, you're a breeder, are you?
oh yeah, I got 2 little ones myself. A guy who is way more talented than me on guitar.
Well, you know us Democrats, you know, we think it's not too late to abort them. You can like just chop their heads off right now. That's a thing we're totally into.
No, absolutely, exactly.
We watched one of your videos earlier, man. It was the SpongeBob with the
Oh.
color. What do they call those things you get from like a paint store? The swatches.
Yeah, the
Color swatch.
Oh god, the swatch. Yeah, color swatches. I thought that. Oh, I was dying laughing. My daughter was pointing it out. She goes, "What are they doing?" And I was like, "I don't know. I really think that's funny."
I don't get what you're what is the joke? Can you explain it to me?
Oh, it's kind of like you know, no whites allowed. And you saw the white people in the dumpster, and then you also see him throw the baby in the dumpster.
So are we talking about the DNC?
Well, not specifically the DNC. Actually, that would have been a funny thing to equate it to.
Would it have been? Because did you see how white that motherfucker was?
Absolutely, exactly. That's what's. It was just all around really funny. I didn't expect to see that in a SpongeBob episode, so I thought it was pretty funny. Man, that show, going back to it, I understand why that was Dimebag Darrell's favorite show.
Oh, okay. You know that it is based off of a Ween album, right?
Oh wait, really?
Yes.
SpongeBob was?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yes. It is meant to be understood on 2 different levels. It really is meant for adults and kids.
Absolutely, I've been enjoying it. It's one of the funniest shows.
And
I've seen on-
Tom Kenny, excellent.
Oh, absolutely, that guy is insane. His many voices, his just resume, I guess you would say in general, is just insane. That guy's awesome.
I love how I try to get on politics and we end up going back to like pop culture.
Yeah.
That's what we're really gonna agree on. I don't exactly know your politics. The only thing I watched was the video about the encounter I had with Destiny. And like I can't wait to dive into a couple of those things.
Oh, absolutely.
And then I watched the little short with the SpongeBob earlier.
Yeah. It shoot. How would I put it?
And I don't fault you. Like I thought you did a good job. Like your video looks really crisp.
I appreciate that.
Your delivery, like you need to move your whatever you're reading off of, get it closer to your eye line so you're not like looking off. That was the only thing that kind of like was making my eye to it. I'm a broadcaster. I've worked in TV and radio my entire life. Like that's all I've ever done.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
I always wanted to be a musician, and I've got no fucking talent. I got no rhythm. I've got no pitch, no nothing. So became a broadcaster. Dude, I do have a voice. Yeah. So
music. It's actually it's so much easier to get into than what people realize. You got to find the right teacher. And that's really what it comes down to, because I've had a couple of really bad teachers and I could not get a single note out of a guitar at all. And when I found the right person to come in, he taught me how to play Knocking on Heaven's Door in a day. And then the next week when he came by and he taught me how to go through the entire song, Patience by Guns N' Roses as well. and I couldn't get anything accomplished with the other 2 teachers I had previously. So it just always depends on, and it's not necessarily that they were bad teachers. I'm sure they were really good. I just did not understand what they were trying to lay down.
No.
And
I took piano for 9 years. I took a year of guitar lessons. I was a music minor in college the first time. I was in show choir from 5th grade until my senior year of high school. I was in the chorus, and my voice changed. I could actually sing before my voice changed. After my voice changed, it was all over. Like, I couldn't hit fucking shit. I'm in a weird register. So, like, broadcaster.
Oh.
I do play the skin flute from time to time.
You know, there was another person who had a lot of trouble for years and years and years of getting, how would I say it?
You're gonna be giving me guitar lessons before this is over with, aren't you? You want to break it out?
You can always give it a shot.
Hey, do you had like you got your amp right there? Can you give us a few licks? Oh, I see an acoustic. Grab your acoustic.
Actually, I don't know if I can. I could probably plug it into my Axe Effects, but will this let me run? I haven't done this in a long time. Do I have? Oh, I can switch it. Oh, they made this so much better.
I feel like you're doing everything you can to avoid politics. Is that what we got going on here?
No. We can definitely do.
You will go nose to nose with the leftist. Play Wonderwall. Are you excited about Oasis?
Right. Oh, geez, I haven't heard that in a long time. Purposely, obviously.
Well, I mean, they're going on a reunion tour.
Are they? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they just announced it this week.
Holy cow! That's wow. I had no idea. But yeah, I can. So I can bust one of those out here a little later on. I do want to say, so I didn't mean to misrepresent you or anything like that.
You call me a tanky.
No.
No, I'm like the chat calls me like my chat is probably far more leftist than I am because I did news for years. I've met Mitch McConnell, I've met representatives, governors, and shit. Like I'm kind of more of an institutionalist, more of a on the sock dim side, probably.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I made a bit of an assumption in my video when it was everyone against Destiny. And it seemed like you all were in a lot of agreement, and I was like, okay, they're probably all on the same page. And really, most of the arguments that I was arguing against were from Kevin Logan. I know that guy's politics pretty well.
I don't, but he's cool to me. Like we've been cool together.
Oh, for sure. I would imagine.
I met him that day. Like I didn't know anybody else on the panel. First of all, yeah, there's no context. So
I thought I'd seen you before, but maybe I was wrong.
So. You could have seen me like with other people or something, but I'd never been on one of Wick's panels, and probably won't get invited back again.
I understand that.
I didn't know anyone else that was on the panel, and also like I was a last minute like filling in for somebody else. I didn't even know Destiny was going to be on there like until I saw him. And
gotcha.
I'm not like Wick wanted to bring on people that were like hate watchers of Destiny. I don't really even consume other people's content. Like very little, you know. As I told you, I'm into cooking and music and I'm gaming and wrestling and shit. Like you can't have the politic brain; it'll fuck you up, right and left.
That's kind of why I tried stepping back from it a lot of the times. So when I get online, I am way different on like Twitter and Facebook than I am in person in general. I try to push people's buttons, but then
you're a griefer.
They're gonna get pushed too. Yeah, exactly. Online, well, not in videos or in person or anything, but when it comes to Twitter and Facebook, I try to mess with people as much as I can.
Oh, me too.
But sometimes people can really mess with me a lot better than I can mess with them, and they end up winning. And it's like, well, lesson learned.
Hey, you and I were both want to have the last word because for context, this is Arthemesia. Did I say it right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool.
I think so.
It was some. I'm in several of them. It was like U.S. politics, no filter, or Republican versus Democrat, some shit like that. It was one of those groups I met him in, and like you dropped that thing about the cookies and the rocket, and I'm like, the fuck. This dude saw the Destiny thing, and I guess I was commenting from my JustinFREAKIN page, wasn't I?
Oh yes.
Okay, cool,
I saw that, and I was just trying to make a quick little jab at something that I figured would be obscure.
Well, here's the okay. So like, I kind of went a little like semi-viral, a tiny bit viral, like almost on streamer fails, right? But nobody said my fucking name. You're like the only person I've seen that did a video about it that mentioned my fucking name. Everybody else, I'm the guy that asked Destiny if he was on speed. Now, I will say that one of my best friends, my ex-girlfriend, she swears, she's like, just go ahead and admit it. You were like, you're trying to get a jab in on it. And I'm like, you know me better than anybody. I'm just like blurting out the first thing that came to my mind. Like, dude, you're on speed. I made no value judgment about it. Maybe I would have wanted to do speed with him. It's like,
there's that.
In your video, you made it seem like I was a hypocrite because I was smoking pot. But did I say it was a bad thing he was on speed? He took it as a bad thing.
That is a good point. Yeah. But yeah, I guess it was the way that because Destiny, I mean, first of all, he's very good at framing.
Really didn't like me after that too.
Oh yeah. Well, I imagine he probably wouldn't have even liked me after my video. What
was your conclusion? I only watched the part about me because I'm a narcissist, right? What was your conclusion on him? Destiny's a grifter, right?
So, actually, no.
God damn it! Come on.
So I think he believes everything he says. I think he's just out of
I think you can be a grifter and believe it. That was one of the things I took issue with your video. Was I think you can absolutely be a grifter and believe what you say.
That's a tough one. I think for me, the way that I've always seen grifters, the way that they act, is if they really don't believe the BS, but they're still trying to sell it to an audience, it's like, man, you don't even believe what you're saying, and you're trying to get others to believe it for that money, And when it comes down to it, it's like snake oil salesmen. Is kind of how I look at grifters. I think that's actually kind of the definition of it.
Yeah.
Like, they use that. Yeah, and it's like if you're selling me BS, just so you can get a quick paycheck, that just stinks in general. And I don't think Destiny's too proud and too arrogant.
Absolutely.
I think he's wrong. And I would actually almost rather him be a grifter at that point.
And that was one of the things that, like, I didn't say that debate was, I forget how you framed it. That's what I said was a straw man. My point was, like, don't take Destiny seriously and don't take online debate seriously. Like, none of it. I do a show called The Troll Patrol. Don't take any of it seriously.
No, understand that. When I made the comment about it was hypocritical for people to be arguing about debate working or not, and for the people to be against debates, thinking it doesn't work at all, I was saying that is a blanket thing in general. Anyone on that side, I think, would be hypocritical.
Here's my thing is Destiny actually comes out and says like he's only had 2 debates, and like it's all the fuck he does is he sits up all day and fucking makes content with people debating this, debating that. And like he's only had
speed.
Exactly. And like that was another thing that was confirmed to me in the streamer fails was like his community knew he was on some sort of ADHD medicine, which he probably takes to be able to sit and stream and make the money all day, which is kind of a grifter.
I think it's kind of a fine line between well, I don't even know if it's a fine line. I think everyone who gets prescribed medication tends to be like, well, since it is my medication, I'm not really doing drugs. But first of all, it has a warning label on it that you can't operate machinery for a reason.
Well,
second of all is... Oh, sorry.
No, this like a cognitive dissonance thing, right? So, like, Elvis did it. He didn't think he was a drug. Like, he was on all these prescription pills, and then he would go out, he got, like, Nixon to deputize him, right? He goes out in Memphis, and he's, like, shooting at drug dealers while he's high out of his fucking mind. It's crazy. Exactly. And there's, like, Michael Jackson didn't think he was doing drugs because it was from a doctor and shit. Like, it's a rationale that people tell themselves. And that's I would say Destiny suffers from that as well. That's why I would still call him a grifter. He believes, he has convinced himself, and it's a feedback loop. When your chat, reaffirms you over and over again, and they tell you what you're doing is right, and you gain more followers by doing this. And like you've convinced yourself because that's what's making you money.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, shoot, here in about the next 10 minutes, I think I'm going to be getting closer to your level here.
Oh, are you drinking? Hell yeah, light one up, tip one back, man.
Oh, no. I took a gummy.
Oh, hell yeah.
This is just some sweet tea. Yeah.
Fuck it, sweet tea's my favorite too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I have a sweet tea every now and then, trying to drink mostly water. Cut out all smoke. Cut out
You a health freak? I mean, I don't want to say it that way. As if freak is a bad word to me.
So my audience doesn't know this yet. I had a real hard time back in with the channel back in October and had to step away for a while. I'm probably going to tell them at some point, but my wife was recently diagnosed with some serious autoimmune issues.
Oh, dude, I'm sorry to hear that.
It's all it seems to actually be all good. We found out by cutting out carbs and all this stuff that her symptoms stopped flaring up completely. And we're looking at most of the time when people have some sort of autoimmune thing crop up, it seems to be related to gut health. And once you get your gut health under control, it seems to put that, depending on what type of autoimmune issue it is, it puts it into a, what would you call it, remission? Or is it remission whenever it starts back up?
But remission's when it's receding.
Receding, okay. So it goes into remission, and man, if these people don't stop calling me. But yeah,
You're a popular man.
Oh god, no, it's scammers.
Oh.
I've had my phone number since I was like 16. It's time to change it because I get probably, I think today I had 62 spam calls. Yeah, I mean, it's insane.
Use the block button, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Block them shits.
New numbers.
A lot of new phones have, like, once you block a few of them, they get to know what they are and shit, and they'll automatically report them as spam.
Yeah, I wish they would. I don't know what AT&T's doing, but...
Oh, fuck AT&T.
Yeah, right?
All right, man, who you voting for in the election?
Oh, so I'll definitely be casting a vote towards Trump this election.
Interesting. This election, have you voted for somebody else previously?
So last election I voted Trump, but the election before that I voted Gary Johnson. And
I was kind of figured you'd be a libertarian type.
Well, actually, the funniest thing, the reason why I voted for him was that interview he did when that Republican was reading out her notes saying that, did you know the moment you take one puff of marijuana, your risks for a heart attack.
Heart attack sounds fun.
Exactly. It says like your chance for a heart attack goes up by like 300% or something ridiculous. And as soon as she said that, Gary Johnson grabbed his chest and fell to the floor and started pretending like he was seizing. And everyone's like, yo, did Gary Johnson just low-key say that he smoked weed before this set?
And that's what won you over.
Oh, yeah.
Not saying that's not a based move or anything, but I don't know if I would base my presidential vote on that one thing.
Well, it was Hillary and Trump running against each other.
It sucked. I didn't vote that election. Boy, was I wrong, too. I'd go back and vote for Hillary.
Yeah, what freaked me out about Hillary was when she was wanting to put that no-fly zone over Syria. And I was like, yo, Russia will violate that. And we will go to war with Russia if that happens. I was like, that's not a good idea. And that was right at the time, I think, they thought, oh, God, what's his name? Not Muammar Gaddafi, but who's the president of Syria again?
Assad.
President, dictator? Assad, yeah. The whole thing when they came out with Assad gassing his own people. And then
I still don't know what to think that we've got like conflicting reports. I don't know enough about foreign policy to make an informed decision on whether he used chemical weapons or not. And that's why I wish more people would come forward and be able to say that sort of thing on a topic, because don't know enough about it, brother.
No, absolutely. And that was my exact position. Well, still is my exact position today. And I was like, I don't want to go to war for a country that's not even an ally of ours. And I was like, this doesn't make any sense. I don't want to do that. So when she said that, that ruled her out. But then whenever I saw...
Interesting. That was the issue that, like, your number one issue?
Yeah, it just... Going to war with Russia in general, or going to war with any major country. We go to war with, Middle Eastern countries and stuff. It's not that I think that's... Because I'm super anti-war. My whole policy is we need to pull out of every single war we're in, worry about ourselves for a bit, and then when an ally is in trouble, we can go to their call, but we need to not be just in these forever wars.
I agree.
We've been in Iraq for way too
long. That is absolutely something we can agree on. But like, we were the side with the anti-war protests and everything. It was like that's what one of the things that animated me into politics, because I'm 19 in 2003 or something, and like I really became part of I was president of the Young Republicans in high school, and then became very anti-war because of Iraq.
That's hilarious. When I was in high school, I was a bleeding heart liberal. I wanted Obama to win. I was all for every bit of that. And
every bit of it, because like so far, like it kind of seems like like you're on your feels. Like Obama got you in your feels. Is that right? Like it was a vibe.
Absolutely, yeah. In high school, it's funny. I remember one kid printed off all these Obama is my homeboy shirts and put them out. And, yeah.
I read The Audacity of Hope. I was a little hyped on him as well, like 2007, I guess, when that came out.
Yeah. I guess it would have been 2007. Yeah, it's I was in what grade would I have been in? Was I a sophomore? Yeah, I can't quite remember.
And here's the thing, is if your number one issue is being like anti-war, like I kind of can't fault you for Trump, because he has at one point in time said, let's bring all of our troops home.
Exactly.
One of the things that I agree with him most was the Afghanistan withdrawal. Of the things like I would give Trump credit for, the other would be like the First Step Act.
Absolutely. One of the
But that's that pales in comparison to all the other like dumb shit he did, right?
No, absolutely. What really got me, because it was Obama's second year in office, and I think I did get to vote. So I voted Obama in 2012. I just turned 19.
2012 would have been that would have been the second presidential election. His second term.
So I got to vote for the first time, and I actually voted for him.
Yeah, because fuck Mitt Romney.
Yeah, well, God, Romney sucked. At the end of the day, I don't know that there was much of a difference between the two. I don't know that there was much of a difference between Obama and Bush. Just all Obama did in my eyes was just keep forwarding us further and further into Bush's wars.
Okay, no. Well, first of all, we lost significantly less troops. They converted to more drone strikes, which actually ended up with more casualties. So I mean,
right.
like you're
that's kind of still
you're trading shit out. I don't know. I don't want to say that he deepened the wars. It just fought it on a different kind of level. He actually took out Osama bin Laden. There's that one thing.
Yeah.
But like, foreign policy isn't really the thing that I focus on, man. Like the Obamacare was legitimately a good thing. I'm from Eastern Kentucky. I had many friends get insurance because of it. I think I have people in the chat will tell you they have insurance because of it. It's objectively a good thing. Was it enough? Was it a perfect plan? By far, no. It didn't go near far enough. But it was a step in the right direction, and insurance costs would have skyrocketed without it. Obama also invested a lot into roads, bridges, and shit. And like, we desperately need infrastructure investment in this country, and Biden did it as well.
Yeah, I think, unfortunately, on that aspect, when it came to the insurance and everything he did for that, to me it felt like he ended up empowering the insurance companies to a point where...
It was an insurance company handout plan. That's exactly what it was. In order to pass some sort of this is my thing. I'm a realist. In order to pass some sort of legislation, they had to make it a giveaway to the insurance companies just because there's so much money in our politics.
Yeah, and it's devastated our hospitals badly. My wife, she's a nurse.
That's not what's devastated our hospitals. Consolidation has devastated our hospitals. I've seen it here.
There's that too.
Every hospital. No, that is the driving force. Because like if you believe in free markets, you want competition.
Yeah, but there's also so unfortunately there's a government side to this that's really, really, really devastated the hospitals bad. And it is one of the worst policies I've ever heard of. And it's
based on what?
What do they call it? Patient satisfaction scores. If your patient satisfaction scores drop down below a certain amount, you will lose government funding, and it's horrendous. This is what's caused the absolute insane opioid epidemic that's been going on. So if somebody...
Oh, brother.
And you don't give them that medication that they're asking for, then they will report you, and you will lose government funding, and it's horrible.
You know what an anecdotal fallacy is, right?
What do you mean?
You're just throwing out something like, there's no way to verify that claim.
Oh no! It's very easy to verify.
No, it's not. That is
the patient satisfaction scores.
You can verify that it's a thing that exists. You can't verify that like that's causing all these hospitals to lose money because junkies are giving them bad scores.
Oh no, they're not losing money. They're gaining a lot of money. So doctors are not fighting this. They're absolutely giving them all the medication. Every bit of it.
Doctors are not I assure you, doctors are not handing out pain pills like candy.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely they are. It's unbelievably bad.
It was unbelievably bad in the 90s when they were duped by the pharmaceutical companies. Now fucking doctors do not hand out pain pills like candy. That is not a thing.
No, it's definitely a thing.
Not a thing, I assure you.
Well, how do you come about saying it's not that they're not handing them out anymore?
Because I have watched the crackdown. I've seen the drug task in Eastern Kentucky. It was called the Unite Task Force that would bust doctors called pill mills, and like they would shut these pharmacies down. They would perp walk the pharmacists out
when they were selling. You're talking about whenever doctors would take medication, they would sell them on the streets, and
no. Because there's things called doctor shopping and shit. Like, man, like,
yes.
Trust me, like, I did news for years. This is a topic, like, I've covered extensively. Like, they crack down on it. There are not doctors that are prescribing pain pills anymore because they are scared to death of getting busted because of the operations that took place in the late 2000s and the early 2010s. It's almost impossible to get medication that you need nowadays.
It really depends because the majority of the population going into the hospital are homeless. And it's unbelievably wild how bad it's getting.
I would say you mean the ER.
Well, yes.
And I think that would vary from city to city. I doubt, in the city I'm in, that would be true.
So, for Tulsa is a good example.
A decently large city.
Yeah, they come into the ER. They go throughout the entire hospital
without a lot of social safety nets because it's a red state.
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily without safety nets because it's they're still getting all serviced, 100%. Nobody's allowed to be turned away. But
at an ER, yeah.
Yeah,
but that's not the care you need in order to be healthy, my friend. They don't have access to primary care, which is what we all need to have a right to in order to live full, healthy lives.
No, I agree. Everyone needs to be able to have their health care taken care of. For a lot of these people, though, they're ending up in ERs, and what we should have is, and of course the word is terrible, but insane asylums, I guess you know, is what they used to be called. Nowadays,
No, we just need access to health care for everybody. And then they can get the mental health they need. You don't need to stick the unwanteds in an insane asylum. That's really short. Like, it's really shitty.
No, I'm saying the stick. What am I trying to think? A mental health institution, I guess, is what you would call it. But there are a lot of people out there, like people on the streets who cannot take care of themselves, that really need someone, how would I put it? Like, they need someone to have custody over them, I guess you could say.
According to a 2024 study, 5% of emergency department visits in the southeast U.S. involve patients who are homeless or housing insecure. 5%.
Wait, what study is that from? Because this is
flash cited in the chat.
I don't know about that because, well, I mean, maybe in the United States, but definitely not where I'm from.
Are you not in the United States?
With this. Well, I mean, like, in the United States as a whole, but not specifically in my area. Like, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the homeless population inside the hospitals is so bad that they literally have patients outside of rooms in beds just waiting to get into a room for hours and hours.
Well, that is a staffing shortage and underfunding of our hospitals because these gigantic corporations are coming in and trying to run them for profit. And people aren't actually getting the care they need. Every ill in this country can be traced back to the capitalistic incentive. Things like healthcare shouldn't be run that way.
Yeah, no, I agree. Healthcare should not be run the way it is. Now, what I meant by mental institutions, though, is obviously there's a lot of people who could get their mental health probably treated and they would be fine. But there's also a lot of people who absolutely will never be fine, and they're just out on the streets left and forgotten about.
That's a very small percentage. They've done studies where like they've given every like homeless person a house in a locale, and like 3 out of 4 of them become like employed and integrate back into society.
But some of them do, and some of them...
It was like 3 out of 4. That's a fantastic success rate.
But I mean, I was making...
It's usually just people down on their luck, man. It's not like they have like a major malfunction. Some do. Some have long-term mental health issues because they can't get the care they need, that they spiral out of control.
Right. Well, I would probably argue most of them have some sort of mental health issue going on to keep them homeless. Because, I mean, they could go and they can get Section 8. They can get a lot of programs that we
There's
do have.
not a little... Bro, do you know how hard it is to get Section 8?
Not entirely how hard it is.
It is insanely hard to get Section 8. There are people that have been on waiting lists for a decade for Section 8. Like, man, I really hate it when, like, people that consider themselves conservative start coming on and talking about, like, all the shit that, the government, like, hands out. I'm literally from one of the poorest areas of the fucking country. The government ain't handing out shit, brother.
Well, no. That's not the argument I'm making. What I'm saying is, so the whole point, actually, I'll go ahead and I'll just make my point. I'm upset that we have a country that has even one homeless person that we can't do anything for.
And we have more empty houses than we have homeless people.
Right. But, I mean, and, you know, like I said, some of those homeless people, you could put them in an empty house, and unfortunately, they're just not going to be able to do anything with it, and it'll fall apart on them.
Most of them integrate back into society.
Sure. I mean, well, like I said, I can concede that. I'm just saying that the fact that there are some that don't means we really should have invested more into our mental health institutions to help these people out, to give them housing, to have somebody there to take care of them. It's
not about building asylums where, like, you know, we give people lobotomies and shit. It's about, like, having access to primary care.
Right.
Which is universal health care. I'm turning you into libbers, you see?
Right, exactly. No. These are just old points that I've always stuck with. There's a lot of very liberal ideas that I really, really like and would really like to see implemented. Because I'm not a Republican.
Then why are you voting for Donald Trump? Just the foreign policy?
So, not just the foreign policy. His illegal immigration policy, which that badly affected me back in 2014. I got hit head on by an illegal immigrant. He was going 85 on 11th and Sheridan in a 40 zone and slammed into me head on. Sent me to the hospital. My deductible, because I was only 21, my deductible for my car was $1,000, and then my deductible for my health insurance was $1,000, and that left me in the hole at $2,000. Luckily, he did $50,000 worth of damage, and that was covered by the insurance. But he was locked up. He got arrested, was in jail for 12 hours, and then let go. And that was the last I ever saw or heard anything about him. Tried to get his information to sue him, but you can't sue somebody that either A, gives a fake name, or B, is unable to be found. Like, I don't even know where he went. He could have went back to Mexico, or maybe he just went to a different state. But it's really, really difficult to track somebody like that. And that sucked really bad. That was quite the nightmare. And then I also got to see so many businesses in Tulsa, like the Eastland Mall and so many other places get shut down because they got busted with like using illegal, I guess you would call it slave labor.
Yes.
Paid,
The answer to that is to legalize them, give them a robust path to citizenship, temporary visas. A lot of people that are here, and also conservatives don't distinguish. Like, there are people that are seeking asylum and are perfectly legal.
Sure, there are some people, but I mean, if they're
maybe
someone coming
undocumented
to America, right? Well, if someone comes to America to seek asylum and they're not in an asylum area, I wouldn't consider them seeking asylum.
Well, that's at any border. Like, just surrender at the border.
Right.
That's all asylum is.
Yeah. I mean, that would be fine. Surrender at the border.
That's what they do.
Wherever they move you and get processed. But there are a lot of the people that aren't, or that are just freely roaming into our cities and stuff like that, who do not have some sort of passport or some sort of green card.
But that's because our system makes it difficult to do that.
It does. I do agree that our system absolutely needs to be changed.
Yeah, we just invest more money in immigration lawyers and judges, and we grant people like a temporary visa. You can be here for 5 years temporarily. You don't fuck up. We grant you citizenship at the end of that if you fill out the paperwork, take the test, blah blah blah.
Yeah, and
they can drive, they can work, they can contribute to society, and they pay taxes. And then they can't be taken advantage of by. The problem is corporations. It's always corporations.
I agree with that. Yes. 100%.
It's not the poor person that's coming here for a better life because they want to live the American dream. That's what a libertarian should want a hardworking person to do. And if they have trekked from South America to get here, they're a hardworking, determined person, and they deserve a fucking shot at the American dream. So the answer is not Trump to deport fucking everybody. The answer is to reform our system in a more kind and compassionate way. I can show you Ronald Reagan and George H.W. Bush saying that. The Republican Party's gone full-on fascist about this, and that scares the shit out of me.
I don't know that
they want to deport fucking 30 million people. That's like literally their number one thing in this election.
No, I understand that. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I understand where you're coming from on that. But the fact is there are way too many illegal immigrants here that should not have come and should not have gotten access to the country. And that was a failure on our government.
Why?
So here's the thing. When people come into our country and we have no idea who they are and the amount of damage that they can cause or the murder.
They are vetted. They are vetted when they come across, especially if they're surrendering for asylum.
If that were true, I feel like that there wouldn't have been those murders, and I also feel like I probably would.
Brother, the statistics say that immigrants are less likely to commit crime.
Well, maybe the statistics say that, right? And maybe some.
Oh, but your feels say differently, right? That's a right wing thing.
Well, no. So here's the angle I'm coming at from this is 34 million people come into the country illegally, and let's say only 1% of them ever commit any crimes. The problem is because they weren't properly vetted or made into a citizen or anything along those lines, we actually have no idea who those people are.
Once again, that's reforming the system and allowing a path to citizenship.
Right. No, exactly. So I think
that's the opposite of the Trump deport brown people, round them up on a bus. That costs $10,000 a head, by the way. I'd rather just give them $10,000. What the fuck?
Right, but a lot of the illegal immigrants that have come over, some of them are white, some of them are from the Middle East, some of them are from China.
We're getting a lot from China. I was getting ready to say.
And you know they know how to get in. They know they go down to the southern border and they can just cross right on over.
Because it's America, we're supposed to be welcoming. It's kind of our thing.
We can be welcoming, but there's no other country in the world that does that, and we've never.
What does that mean?
Well, we no.
Like you,
Let's.
I wouldn't be here if my fucking ancestors didn't come over and just shove their dicks in people's faces.
Well, they all had to end up at a.
Like it's weird. I don't. You said you're part native. Did I get that right?
Oh yes.
So like I kind of can't fucking say as much about it because like I have no business fucking being in this country.
So
You might have a little more say about that than me.
So the way the Cherokee Nation, and actually usually the 5 civilized tribes, view things is if you're born in America, you are a Native American. That's typically how the tribe sees things. The Cherokee Nation in general, at least, has really gotten way past the whole, like, all white people here, everyone else that's here that wasn't born here natively in the 1800s or before, or even before that.
The
But
Cherokee Nation has gotten past their genocide when the
Right.
U.S. hasn't even atoned for it.
right, and
Like, we need a reckoning with our horrid past on race.
I don't know. I think the best reckoning we can do is everyone.
Shut up
get
about it,
along,
move on.
Yeah, I do think that's the best way we can.
You don't think you have to, like, atone? Like, even the steps to the AA will be like, you have to atone and make amends and shit. Apologize to people for the wrongs you've caused.
The best way to atone is to.
Germany does the exact opposite thing, man. They educate their people. They want their people to know about the atrocities they committed so that it never happens again.
Sure, but just because I had Cherokee family that was murdered by white people way back in the day doesn't.
Fuck Whitey, man. I'm totally about it. Like, we need to own up to that shit.
Nah, I don't think anybody needs to own up to something they didn't do. I can't put
But
that.
that has an effect and it reverberates through generations.
Maybe, but I think the best.
It's not a maybe about it.
Oh, I have to disagree. But the angle I would come from is if you're teaching your children that kid over there isn't any different than that kid standing next to him and they're completely different shades, be like, yeah, one got more sunlight than the other. And
We do teach that.
Right. I think that's the only way to atone is if they don't see people as differently just based on the color of their skin, then everything forward is, how would I put it? Will bring prosperity. Nobody's going to judge somebody based on the color of their skin on hiring. Everyone's going to have equal opportunity. But if we keep throwing this racial thing in everyone's face, people are always going to feel awkward around each other. People are always going to think to themselves, a white guy's going to look at a black guy and be like, oh, I need to change that. I mean, you got to adjust yourself based on what another person wants. But when you're doing it based on skin color, I think that's when things are really problematic. If I see someone whose skin color is different, I'm not just going to start changing the way I talk and stuff. Now, if I see...
But, like, I would say, like, the people focused on skin color and shit is, like, conservatives. Like, they're constantly talking about it. They're obsessed. We had a right-winger in chat last night, and, like, he was the one that brought it up. He was like, you guys are going to call me racist. I'm like, you're the one that brought up race. It's
Right, and I think both sides have become way too hyperbolic on race. Both sides are just... I don't know, it annoys me because I chew out conservatives all the time for bringing up race and stuff. I'm like, why does this matter? I was like, none of this matters. And
it's like, that's what they run on. They're like DEI. That's their new way of, like, anytime somebody who's like, might look like you too, you're a little swarthy, is in a position of power, they automatically assume that they didn't earn it.
now that's a problem if they assume someone didn't earn it.
That's all they do.
Yeah, but when a business is openly talking about like their diversity, equity, and inclusion,
But that's just capitalist marketing.
I hate that, and all of that stuff is
Corporate pandering.
Right, and I just can't stand it because if someone tells me, hey, yeah, we hired you because you're Native American, I'm like, oh, so you think I can't do the job?
So you should be a leftist. You come over to the leftist side. Like,
A lot of the left is what's pushing that too, though. Is they're like, well, he's Native American, he should get an opportunity.
Are they?
And I'm like, I'd rather my skills speak for themselves.
But I don't hear leftists saying that. I hear right-wingers saying that leftists say that.
I've seen quite a few, and we had one when I worked at Google. I this was really bad. This and it actually infuriated me. We had a girl who's actually no, I'm not going to say her name. This little tiny blonde girl who
outer.
Yeah, right. No, I would rather not. That's a can of worms I don't want to open. And you know, we all got hired on and everything, and this drove me nuts because she was not hired on. She was not specifically hired on for diversity, equity, or inclusion. A couple other people were, and she wanted to fit in, and was the absolute most obnoxiously political person. Every word someone would say, it was just, oh, well, you hate women, or, oh, you hate Democrats and stuff like that. You're probably Republican. And it was just like, I just made a joke, relax, you know? And she ended up telling everyone months later that when she came out of the closet, that she was a diversity hire. And I was like, why are you telling people that? No, you weren't. You were hired before anyone knew that about you. And was super proud to be announcing that I'm a diversity hire. And I was just kind of blown away because I was like, well, that should be a compliment to you if you actually were a diversity hire. But even so, I still wouldn't. I'd rather people know myself that I got the job because I was good at it, not because I was a diversity hire. And I see this all the time with people.
Well, see, here's the thing that this is the problem with anecdotes, right? Is I don't know if maybe you have an internal bias. Maybe she was saying like she was being sarcastic about it. She's an overtly political person, and she's actually mocking right-wingers. Oh, I'm a diversity hire and shit. And she's just making a joke and was really bad at it. And your bias kind of, interpreted it the wrong way. Once again, this goes back to conservatives and their feels.
Well, look at what, have you been following the Harley Davidson stuff, or just what came out about the Ford DEI stuff?
Brother, they saw the shit that, conservatives did to Bud Light. It's amazing because Anheuser-Busch has been, one of the most consistently Republican donators, throughout the years. And then the conservative media just turned on them because they did one stupid marketing campaign. It's insane.
Well, I think the big problem is Dylan Mulvaney was coming out and openly saying, talking about the whole trans kids thing, and that just, the
conservatives are against free speech.
I don't think that's necessarily free speech when it comes to wanting to convert children on a medical level.
Convert children on a medical level. Listen to what you're saying. You're saying something that doesn't exist.
Well, what do you mean?
And this also goes back to right-wingers are constantly focused on trans kids. So weird.
An entire hospital got busted and shut down for it over in the UK.
Oh my God, the Tarbin Pinto. I don't forget the fucking name of whatever the fuck it is. Man, that's not what you guys have made it out to be. You've listened to right-wing media. You got the right-wing media brain. They're opening another clinic. It's like there's nobody trying to trans your kids.
Well, it was the internal email that was released. That.
Oh my God.
Well, I mean, it was a corporate email.
That said fucking what, man?
So, they... Oh, let me... actually, I'd rather just pull it up. What was that?
And, why would you give a shit about people having access to gender-affirming care? Why is that such an issue for right-wingers? That you'll vote for a fascist-ass motherfucker that's going to come in here and round up people and put them on a train and send them out of the country?
So I can't agree that Trump is in any way, shape...
He's also a pedophile,
Wait, what?
He's also a pedophile.
How is Trump a pedophile?
He was friends with Jeffrey Epstein. His name appears 8 times in Epstein's contacts. He gave the prosecutor that got Epstein off. I said it was Alex Azar the other day. It was Alex Acosta. Gave him a cabinet position in his administration. Quoted as saying, good friends with Jeffrey Epstein. We both like young women. And was sued multiple times by one of the victims for rape of a child with Jeffrey Epstein.
Well,
Is that not enough evidence?
that would be if it were true.
All of it was true. Everything I just fucking said was true.
No.
Yes.
The only thing on file that Trump has ever said about Epstein was when he got weird with his daughter and kicked him out Mar-a-Lago.
Oh my God, this is what every dumb fuck right-winger says.
But the flight dates match up with that completely. I don't think Trump would have remembered that from 20 years ago. I don't think he would have remembered the exact dates.
And you just said that was the only quote he had about Epstein. I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy. He's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. No doubt about it, Jeffrey enjoys his social life. This was in 2002.
Let's see. Where was this? What was?
And I have no idea why he might have had a falling out. Trump is very petty. There's a million different reasons why he might have had a falling out with the guy, and not because like I feel that he would have a problem with pedophilia, because he clearly likes young women.
Let's see. Where did he quote this at? Because it says the quote, but there is no source to. What the heck? Okay, where did he even say this at?
I just read you the quote, man.
Let's see.
This was in, yes, New York Magazine. Trump told New York Magazine in 2002.
But here's the thing, too. So where were those flight logs of Trump? Where did they go? Because they never made it.
I have no idea about the flight logs because we don't have the complete logs, but we know that he was 8 different times mentioned in Epstein's contacts.
Right, but I mean, let's say he was mentioned 8 times. I mean, look at Bill Clinton and how many times he was in.
Fuck Bill Clinton, dude. Fuck that pedophile.
But the thing about it is
you're supporting a pedophile, and that's really weird.
I need proof that he's a pedophile. I can't just call people pedophiles.
There's just as much proof, and if not more proof, that he's a pedophile as Bill Clinton, and I want to lock Bill Clinton up too. Prince Andrew, lock that weird motherfucker up.
Well, sure, but like I said...
Yeah, sure, Trump, too.
Well, no, before I would call for any of them to get locked up, I would want solid proof that it happened. You know what I mean?
What do you need? I mean, we have eyewitness testimony. They sued.
If someone is hanging out with... And we also have a...
and somebody says, they raped me on Epstein Island. We have...
Sure, but who said that about Trump, though?
Well, it was a Jane Doe.
Well, no, the Jane Doe ended up saying Trump wasn't there, but she remembers Bill Clinton being there. And I think she said Stephen Hawking as well.
I'm not sure that that's ever happened, but I totally know she filed the lawsuit first in New York and then in LA. I have the lawsuit.
The lawsuit for Trump getting sued for...
I think you are confusing that with someone else. I think that was the one that was accusing Prince Andrew. Because there were a lot of women that were trafficked, my friend.
I don't think there was ever anybody who said he was... I don't think that's quite it. They said, oh, why?
Well, his public comments about his own daughter are creepy enough. Like, that's enough reason to disqualify him if you want to do it on feels. Not to mention that he's a fucking grifter. You want to talk about grifters, Trump is the king of grifters.
Well, so when I look at Trump's history of everything he's ever promised or done, like
being a grifter,
70s, 80s, and 90s, him fixing up that entire ice rink for those people because New York couldn't get it done, him saving Atlanta from the absolute brink of destruction back in...
Do you know what PR spin is, my friend? Do you know how big of a huge liar Trump is?
I'm not saying he...
Everything he has touched has just turned to complete shit throughout his entire life.
Because, I mean, look at
100%.
New York in the 70s. I mean, he had so much infrastructure there. He built New York back from a huge... he was actually one of the biggest backers of Rudy Giuliani back whenever he...
Rudy Giuliani is a fucking nut job and should have never been anywhere near
what he did?
Being a mayor.
Well, do you know what he did about in New York as a mayor? Or, I mean, wait, was it mayor or governor?
He was mayor of New York City.
Mayor. That's right. So the mayor...
He was mayor during the late 90s when the entire fucking country was booming.
Well...
He was mayor during the late 90s when the entire country was booming.
Right, but he ended up blocking away more mafia.
And he did it on behalf of his Russian backers. We learned all of this. Yeah, he took down the Italian mafia on behalf of the Russians.
I don't think that's true.
That is absolutely true. Rudy Giuliani is one of the absolute most corrupt motherfuckers ever. And like the fact that you even in 2024 that you're bringing up Rudy Giuliani as some bastion of virtue is insane to me.
Well, I mean,
how old are
really
you?
good job. 32. But he did a really good job.
No, he didn't. He was just mayor of New York during the late 90s when the entire country. My mom test drove Mercedes and we were poor as shit. But she thought she was good enough to buy a Mercedes in like 1998 because all of us were fucking. The economy was the tech bubble. It was insane. Sure. You just had to be there.
Good. Well, yeah, but I don't think the economy being good would have had as much to do with, him getting rid of the mafia and his policies.
On behalf of the Russians.
He does not have any connections to
Yes, he does.
He is not a Russian.
Go listen to the Lev Parnas testimony.
Yeah, I'm not going to trust that Steele dossier or anything along those lines of that investigation since it was all debunked.
Yeah, you're not going to trust anything that goes against your already held beliefs.
No, it was debunked. I mean, the Steele dossier was complete trash. Complete bunk.
I didn't mention the Steele dossier. I said go listen to the Lev Parnas testimony because he was the Giuliani associate that has testified in front of Congress that Giuliani is full of shit and working for the Russians.
Well, sure. I mean, he can go and say that. I'm not
in front of Congress under oath.
Brother,
how embarrassing has Giuliani been in the last few years, and you're still defending him?
Let me put it this way:
the Four Seasons Hotel, the fucking the black the hair dye running down his face. He farted in the middle of a courtroom while he was getting smacked down by judge after judge after judge in the election case, and that's why he has been disbarred. That's why he's got charges in 2 different states.
Well, here's what I have to say about that for the most part. Do you trust, like, his statement under oath?
What statement under oath did Giuliani make?
Oh, anytime he's been under oath, do you trust any of his
Which statement specifically? You have to tell me. I wouldn't trust him, no, and he is once again being prosecuted for, committing fraud.
Right.
Has been committed. Has been prosecuted. Remember the poll workers in Georgia? They fucking sued for defamation. Won. He had to pay that shit out, and that's why he broke.
Well,
because he defamed those women. Because he's a lying sack of shit. Yeah, remember when he tried to pull his dick out in the fucking Borat movie?
Actually, I did not.
That was the girl was okay. So the girl was not underage, but she was playing a 15-year-old, and for all intents and purposes, Giuliani thought she was 15. And they go into the room, and then Sacha Baron Cohen, I think half naked, because it's Sacha Baron Cohen,
right,
busts into the room and is like, "She's 15. Put your dick away."
I need to watch that movie.
It is hilarious.
About it. But no, so a couple things that I don't like to trust. When it comes to civil cases, that cannot, a lot of civil cases are overreaching and they are ruling in favor of.
You apparently don't trust criminal cases either because the George Floyd thing.
For the most part.
Oh, but that one, because you disagree with it. That one we got to disregard.
Testimony to convict him. I can't agree with that, and that's not how courts.
There weren't just testimony.
There what?
There wasn't just testimony.
I didn't see any evidence in his court case at all, in any hard concrete evidence that he did what was claimed of him, and that's kind of a big issue that I have.
Huh?
I didn't see any communications between him and Russians. I didn't see any fraudulent documents from him or anything like that. It was a lot of testimony and a lot of people who didn't like him, as far as I'm concerned, that were saying things about him. I don't know if what they were saying was true or not, but I don't like to trust testimony. I don't like to trust civil cases who think that they can, as a judge in a civil courtroom, also thinks that he can rule on a crime
That's what
and not have a crime committed.
That's what a court is.
Not a civil court. A civil court cannot ever find you guilty of a crime.
Well, I don't understand what you're talking. The civil court finding you guilty of a crime. I mean, a civil court can adjudicate fraud cases, for instance.
They can.
Fraud is a crime.
Investigation.
That is a civil violation.
No. The
The state can
only between two people typically. So let's say if I go to sue anyone, on the pretenses of I want to get paid or I need to sue this person for wronging me, it's a civil case, not a misdemeanor. It's not a criminal.
Well, yeah. You don't have to explain court to me, brother.
So whenever we use like a good example, people are always try to say, well, Trump was found guilty of doing what he did to E. Jean Carroll.
He was found liable of rape. If they say guilty, they're just misusing the terminology. He was found liable of rape.
Well, no, he was found liable of sexual assault. They deemed that he was not found liable of rape.
The reason why they say it's rape is because in New York City, like, rape is a different statute, and they don't consider penetration with a digit rape. But the federal definition considers penetration with a digit rape. Normal parlance considers penetration with a digit rape. So he was found liable of what most people would consider rape.
Sure, but here's the problem. It's in the civil court. They don't have the jurisdiction or the authority.
But that was their, in order to prove defamation, she had to prove that she was raped.
Right, and how did she even come close to proving that?
I didn't keep up with like the day-to-day testimony and shit.
Well,
I don't know what the jury heard. Why are you questioning the jury? Like what
they did was hear something. They never.
But that's what a jury does. That's literally what they're
no.
impaneled to do.
The jury is supposed to make a decision based on evidence, not based on circumstance.
That is presented to them in a case.
Sure.
There's plenty of cases where there's he said, she said, and that's all it really comes down to.
Yes, and everyone.
You're not gonna have DNA evidence and everything.
Right, but you can't find somebody guilty at that point if you don't have.
You can. You absolutely can, because you can establish that this is a pattern in their behavior. You can have multiple credible witnesses compared to their no witnesses that testify on their behalf. You can make it? You can make that case.
Our governments and courts specifically protect us against that. Specifically, you cannot have.
No, they don't. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yes, they do. It's called a witch hunt. If you get a lot of people...
a witch hunt is back in the day when they used to accuse people of being witches and burn them at the stake.
Well, how many people would come in and say they definitely...
But there's no statute against fucking the prosecution using character witnesses and multiple eyewitness testimony in order to establish their... And if they convince a jury, that's all that matters.
No.
Yes. That's how it works.
No.
Yes.
No, that's not.
Yes. That's exactly how it works.
A jury and get punished because.
Yes, you can.
Okay. Do you know the quote Benjamin Franklin gave for this? He would rather see 100 men of guilt walk away before one innocent man gets locked away in prison.
Okay, cool. I'm all for prison reform.
Found in our Constitution.
But that's not where is that found in our Constitution?
Okay.
You just gave me a spurious quote.
Yeah. Let me see here. I can pull it up. We are not supposed to find anybody guilty just based on word of mouth. That is the most, one of the most fascist things we could be doing.
Not a thing. Well, I'm not talking. You can establish motive. You can establish that.
You can establish things, but you have to have a concrete piece of evidence to find.
There is nothing that says that. There's no statute. It's not in the Constitution.
Absolutely.
You're smoking crack, brother.
No. Here, let me pull it up.
Please.
Yeah, it's let's see.
Thought it for me. This is gonna be good.
Okay. Let's see.
Let's see.
I want to find the law, not someone's opinion here.
Exactly, motherfucker. There is no law. There's a law that you can't use eyewitness testimony in court somewhere.
So you can say I did, but there has to be some sort of evidence that something took.
Eyewitness testimony is evidence.
Well, it can be.
If everybody sees you fucking mow somebody down and testifies to it.
But that's the point of evidence, because if somebody gets mowed down, there's going to be a bullet in them. There's going to be something that happened. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so Trump's fraud case, there were ledgers and documents.
Well, the problem with Trump's fraud case, this is total BS.
Oh my God, brother! You do not believe in our legal system.
Who can appraise a home or a property?
They're called appraisers.
Yes, not one appraiser ever went to court to testify against Trump. Not one. The case was not brought forward by an appraiser. It was not brought forward by the bank. It was not brought forward by anybody other than the judge himself.
He committed fraud, and they proved it,
How?
and the jury agreed.
No, they didn't.
Yeah.
No. Every single bank that he worked with said he absolutely did not commit any fraud.
No, they didn't.
Alone.
No, they didn't testify to that. No.
Yes, they did.
No.
Not one bank.
No. And like it wouldn't be a bank, on a bank, because also they wouldn't admit to something like that because
Hold on.
that would look bad on them.
Who
We let this dude defraud us.
would have been screwed over in that deal?
The American people. The people of
They
New
gave a loan out?
The people of New York, absolutely. If he is devaluing his assets for the purposes of taxes and then
But how
inflating them,
Trump doesn't have the authority.
there's only a finite amount of money.
Do
Brother.
that. No, he doesn't have the authority.
Oh yeah. He can't just hire his buddy to appraise his fucking shit, man. Like,
Sure.
come the fuck
Law.
on. It's all these greasy business motherfuckers. Why do you defend them? Once again, the problem is all these rich motherfuckers getting away with this shit. I can't, if I go to a bank and inflate my assets in order to obtain a loan, they absolutely will fucking come after me for fraud.
You can't inflate your assets though. Only an appraiser can. If the appraiser is the only person.
Yeah, and I'm not a socialite that claims to be a billionaire that people want to impress.
Sure, but that's my point. I can't go to a doctor, ask him to give me drugs, and then him give me drugs, and me get arrested for the doctor giving me drugs. You know what I'm saying? The doctor would be responsible for that.
Actually, you can, like, it's called doctor shopping. If you're going around, like, there are several different laws that
That's
would
a different thing,
hold
though.
you
If I
accountable.
go to a single doctor friend and I don't doctor shop, then I'm not breaking that law. But if a doctor gives me drugs, extra drugs that he's not supposed to give me, because I can ask for anything I want. I can ask for extra money on my house. If someone gives it to me, that doesn't mean I broke the law. I would have to somehow.
It does if you have falsified documents to obtain it. That is fraud.
How did Trump falsify?
That is fraud. If you are inflating your assets to receive, yes, it is. It is literally fraud.
I can ask for $1 million for my house. If someone pays it to me, that doesn't mean I broke the law. Absolutely not.
That is not analogous to what is going on here. We're talking about bank loans. If you are fraudulently claiming you have assets to back a loan, you are committing fraud.
Well, no. If
Yes,
$1 million
literally committing fraud, brother. You are literally committing fraud to do that.
So
And that is what the prosecution proved. Oh my God. And the jury agreed, and
yeah, I don't care what
boom.
the jury agreed. I could show you.
I know you don't. Man,
No, just listen.
no, brother. It's like
No,
we're done here. We're gonna
wanna
get
know how much this house
we're
is
gonna get to the news.
No, do you know how much the house is worth?
I have no fucking idea, man. I'm not
I know,
stuck up Trump's ass.
But I do. And I could show
I don't give a shit. This is like the thing with the fentanyl with George Floyd. You're like, I don't trust the jury. All I have is my feels.
It's that I have physical proof of how much his assets are worth.
Oh my God. You have physical proof of how much his assets are
Yes.
worth based on who? He's been very secretive about his finances.
He doesn't have to be secretive. It's public knowledge. Do you know how it's public knowledge?
It's not public knowledge.
Yes, it
because
is.
Trump Org is a private company.
If you have a home in good condition, it is going to be worth the comps that are around your house.
It is still just a fucking estimate, brother. Brother, this is you wanting to get into like minute details to say, see, you don't know everything, so we can disregard what the jury heard.
Details.
They're the ones that heard the case and decided it, and I can't accept reality. So this is what the kids call cope.
No, it's not.
You hyper focus on one. This is called cherry picking.
You have no idea what I'm talking about.
This is called cherry picking.
Okay, cherry picking. Okay, they said his property was not worth a certain amount. His property's worth well over that certain amount. How is that?
And now the chat has redeemed their points to get you to go away. So, Artemisia, please plug yourself. Tell us about your channel.
Well, my channel it's Artemisia. I also do a little bit of true crime and music. But my main channel is Artemisia on YouTube. I mainly do.
Who's your 3 or 4 top acts? Well, who do you like?
Top acts?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like in kind
music?
of
Music, yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah. Those oh god, my top Winter Sun's definitely at the top, 100%.
I have to check them out on your rec.
Winter
I'll do
Sun
it.
is insane. I'm telling you, they'll blow your mind. It's his album Time 2 is coming out, and in one song it has over 1,000 tracks layered of orchestrations, metal music.
Okay, I'm interested. I'll give it. Sounds a bit much, but we'll see. You piqued my interest.
My soft spots when you when you go to music, I can't turn down music talk.
That's what I was telling the chat. We talked about music all fucking day. We bonded over it. I hope we're friends now, man. Do you have a much different opinion of me?
Do you listen to Dream Theater, right?
Oh yeah. 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence was the very first album I had.
Yeah. So, okay.
Oh yeah, they also want to see your dog before you go.
Oh, Bishop. Hey,
Bishop.
you come.
Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful.
We had another dog named King, and I thought it was just such a generic name. I was like, how about chess pieces whenever we get them together? And unfortunately, he didn't really like Bishop much, so he had to stay at my parents' house. Then, unfortunately, King got old and pancreatic cancer and passed a few months ago, so
I hate to hear
he's a
that.
squishy-faced boxer.
Oh, I love boxers.
But, what I wanted to point out, so John Petrucci, I'm sure you, do you know the Dream Theater members by name?
I know of drummer. What's his name was
Mike Portnoy.
Yeah, Portnoy, and he just got back with him.
Yeah, I saw that, and I'll tell you in a second. I get news about Dream Theater all the time before it comes out. I got a buddy who's in a band with Mike Portnoy's son, Max Portnoy, and his Justin Bonnet's very, very, very cool guy. I consider him a friend, 100%. Genuinely cool guy, and he was telling me, John Petrucci, he's pretty conservative, very, very conservative guy, and Mike Portnoy is very hyper liberal.
I can totally see that.
Those two have been best friends, God, since before. I think they knew each other before they were a band.
Are you doing like an Ebony and Ivory thing?
Yeah.
Are we Stevie and Elton over here?
I mean, why not? But it's just one of those things to where it's like, hey, they get along. More people should be. There's no reason because
We had a good productive conversation, but I also think like the conservative position is complete. I think I did a good job of pointing that out.
I understand how people, come to all those different conclusions of being anti-liberal, anti-conservative, or anti-libertarian in general. I see all the, the negative parts of it and the positive parts too. Like, there's a lot of positive parts to Democrats that a lot of people won't acknowledge today. And there's a lot of parts that I think are conservative that a lot of people are not acknowledging at all today. And especially libertarian as well. But, man, libertarian can go way too creepyville at times.
Oh, exactly. I was getting ready to say, so we watched the Libertarian Convention, right? And so we would agree with 60%, 70% of what somebody would say, and then they just go off the fucking rails. It's like, well, now,
Right.
you had us in the first half, not gonna lie.
Exactly. Like when they got to I went to one, not went to one, but I saw one where they were talking about like trying to legalize heroin for everyone, like just straight
They
up
should.
the needle and everything.
That was
God.
that was my very first day in economics class in 2002. The economics professor was like, if you want to reduce drug usage, if you want to reduce drug deaths, if you want to reduce dependency, legalize all drugs across the board. And he fucking worked it out, and like he convinced me. I'm like, I'm there.
I think any drug that is not physically addictive should be legalized.
All drugs, everything's physically addictive. Coca-Cola is physically addictive. Sugar, physically
I think Coca-Cola
addictive.
should be banned, in my opinion. Now,
I can agree with you on that, but then again, that comes back to the freedom thing. You gotta give people
right?
choices.
No, exactly.
And I like a good Coke every now and again. And if you do things in moderation, it's not bad for you. What's bad is that we let corporations put Coke machines in schools, which they did away with that eventually.
I think it's even worse than that was when Coke changed their formula, and I'm pretty sure they did it by disguising, the whole new Coke debacle. I'm trying to look into it, but I think the new Coke debacle was so they could give people a really crappy tasting drink for a bit, switch it back to their old formula, but instead of real sugar, they switched it with corn syrup. And
oh yeah,
is not digestible. Any corn products aren't digestible.
And that's because of all the corn subsidies and shit we give to red states. But that's an argument for another time. My man, it was great talking to you. I gotta get to the news.
Hey, you too, man.
Have a good one, brother.
Thank you. We'll see you later.
I think that was a lot of fun. Thank you very much. I saw Cosmic Fox wanting to kick my ass, so I knew I had to go. Here's your meme of the day. Oh, shit. Hold on. You see, leftists, they want to be blamed for a second Trump term. They don't want to be blamed for a second Trump term. They aren't going to call me out on my pro-genocide and basically conservative platform. They can't. They won't. Because of the implication. Definitely a leftist meme. Too much text. DJ Dub, Flash. Let me try to get to everybody. Fo Magina, Mama, Cosmic Fox, Phoebe, Torchy. To tell you good evening. Snicks, always a pleasure to see you. Your lovely face lights up a room. Ducky, CSW, my friend. Rest in peace, Sid. Indeed, I saw that earlier. Abattoir, Sitting Cow. Oregon Gal. Welcome. So glad to see everybody. God damn, that lasted a while. I'm scrolling a long fucking way up. Flash, I tell you good evening. I hope that was entertaining. Did you enjoy that one? Notes on my debate skills. Ma'am, excuse me. Freedom, good evening. I don't think I told you good evening. Welcome in. We got a shit ton of news to get to. I'm sorry I didn't have control of the commercials or anything. It's long gone now. Holiday, good evening. It wasn't really a debate. It was more of an informal conversation. I'm very worried. What do you want to go by, Mama or Az? Mama Az? Do you want me to do the full name? I don't want to do this. I'm calling an audible. I'm saying fuck this story. I stay calm nowadays. I don't get all out of whack anymore, I don't think. That's why, like, Pentuple... And I am glad to see you, Az. Maybe it's just I'm I've smoked myself so stupid that, like, I can't even be angry anymore. That's why it was hilarious when Pentubble was accusing me of being aggro. I was like, I wasn't aggro at all. The FBI has released new images of evidence found. Oh, this is fucking, I was worried I wouldn't be able to even hold my own and that dude was gonna eat my lunch. I was kind of a little nervous as I was going on because I was so fucking stoned. This shit's really good. What the fuck? I don't even remember what it's called anymore. But also, Curious and I sat here and smoked like 4 bongs in a row. Gorilla Glue, yeah. She brought me a chili burger, and somehow we got to talking about Goldschlager, and I made a comment about Nickelschlager, and then I ended up putting that episode of Sunny in Philadelphia on. We were watching because like she missed out on Metallica's tour, so I was like watching Metallica. Then we went to Nickelschlager, so I put on that. She really enjoyed that episode of Sunny, I do believe. Where they keep calling Aaron Paul Malcolm and Bryan Cranston Malcolm's dad. They talk about like the greatest show in the history of television, Malcolm in the Middle. Never once mentioned Breaking Bad. I could understand how somebody could be uptight about Sunny. My mom really didn't like it. I got my brother and my dad hooked on it to where when I would come in for like holidays and shit, my dad would be like, "Yeah, put that Sunny on." And like we'd sit there just laugh our asses off, and my mom would come in and was like, "How can you find any of this funny?" Did any of you bang my whore wife? I like that I dated a Sunday school teacher and got her to watch shit like South Park and Sunny in Philadelphia. And even shit that was like outright blasphemous, she would get a kick out of. She was cool. She was very cool. Anyway, I said that since things didn't work out between us, if like we were both 40, we could always try again later and get married. And she was married within like months. Oh well. The FBI has released new images of evidence from the Trump assassination attempt.
A senior FBI official says that the gunman who shot former President Donald Trump at a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania last month saw the event as a, quote, target of opportunity.
The investigation into the failed assassination attempt reveals that the gunman searched for events that both former President Trump and current President Biden would attend. Remember, Biden was in the presidential race back then. The FBI says there were no co-conspirators in.
Yeah, I am convinced, based on that piece of information, that he just wanted to go out with a bang. That, like, if it had been school time, he might have shot up a school. He just wanted to make as much noise as he could.
The agency also released these new images of evidence from that day. It includes the suspect's firearm, his backpack, and an improvised explosive device.
It's just new pictures.
Trunk of his car.
I don't think we have new information.
CBS News Justice Department reporter Robert Legary is with us now from our D.C. bureau. So talk to us about the new information that we are getting from the investigation. Are we any closer to finding out the gunman's motives?
Right, yeah, good afternoon. So far, no. The FBI said today, FBI officials told reporters that they have not yet found a definitive motive for the gunman. They said that they have...
Torchy, go wash your ass.
Life is too short to walk this earth.
Speaking of lurkers, we haven't done it in a few days.
Wash your ass.
Blue Waters, this is our lurker shout out. We're glad to have you in the chat. You don't have to say anything. We just want to show some love to the lurkers. Good evening, my friend. Light one up, tip one back.
Conducted 1,000 interviews, sifted through hundreds of hours of video, and have also gone through a lot of encrypted messaging apps as well as social media applications looking for this answer, and so far haven't found anything directly pointing to what prompted him to do this. And as you said, they saw this as they say the shooter saw this as a target of opportunity at the Trump rally because he was from Pennsylvania. And so this investigation's ongoing, and the FBI said they continue to brief reporters and the public as they learn more.
I mean, it's so stunning, Rob, that this far into the investigation, the FBI...
I appreciate your diligent efforts.
Or
Cosmic Fox.
Like revealing information. We did know that the suspect scouted the site ahead of time. What else are we learning about the type of research, at least, that he did online through searches as well before the attack?
Right, to your point, Errol, we don't know a definitive motive, but the FBI said they do know that detailed planning went into this attack. The shooter, they said, searched for both events tied to the campaigns of both former
Clinically, good evening.
And President
just in time for news
leading up to the attack. And then once the Butler, Pennsylvania rally was announced by the Trump campaign, where Trump appeared on July 13th, FBI officials said crooks became hyper-focused on this event and started kind of centralizing all this.
I think we bonded. We bonded, didn't we, chat? We had a good date.
Planning around this, searching for things about this venue, the podium at this venue, the weather in Butler, Pennsylvania. And so really, once this was
Minty, good evening.
Focus became squarely on this attack. And, you know, there were other social media searches that they referenced in the briefing today, including dating back to all the way September of 2019, where they said the shooter searched for explosives, how things could be detonated, things like that. And so really, this planning, not just in the weeks and months before, but dating back to 2019.
So, Robert, the FBI is calling this a target of opportunity. What do they mean by that?
I mean, he came fucking close. Apparently was under pressure when he took the shot and got one shot that was damn fucking close, that had Trump not turned his head, would have blew his brains out. So, I mean, you can't say the kid's a bad shot, right?
Right. So basically what...
Right.
According
he agreed.
On this call, they basically said that, you know, these searches for the FBI said that the shooter was looking for an opportunity, looking for an event to attack. And so, you know, the Trump and Biden campaign searches were found on his social media and his computer. And then this one presented itself, they said, because it was close to where he lived, and this Butler, Pennsylvania venue was readily available to him. We then know that after this was announced on July 6th, he then searched for this venue, and then in the days and weeks leading up to the attack, you know, went to do reconnaissance on that venue and even flew a drone around it as well.
Fascinating stuff. Rob Gary, thank you very much.
And like, there's so many wild questions. Like, it's weird the way Trump behaved. For him to get up and pump his fist and shit and yell fight, like, it seems like that was staged. But yet, like, I don't have any evidence that it could have been staged, and everything points to it was just a failure of law enforcement. Well, like in 2016, when he thought he was getting shot at, he was a little fucking bitch about it. So it's weird, but you could also be going off of adrenaline. That's probably the more logical explanation, because it really seems like the shooter would have took any target if it had been a large concert that was wide open, or fucking Biden had been there, or somebody, if the Dalai Lama had been there. I don't think it was politically motivated. And I think it was a failure of law enforcement, because it's always best to blame incompetence. Arlington National Cemetery confirms an incident when Trump visited. Apparently there was a physical altercation.
We are learning new details about an apparent incident at Arlington National Cemetery earlier this week involving members of the Trump campaign and a cemetery official. Former President Trump was at that cemetery on Monday to mark the 3rd anniversary of the attack outside the Kabul airport in Afghanistan. That attack killed 13 U.S. service members and more than 150 Afghans. NBC News correspondent Garrett Hake is following the Trump campaign. He joins us now from Washington. So, Garrett, what more can you tell us about this incident, and what are both sides saying?
Ziegler, the more I've reported this story, the more interesting and nuanced it has become. This started.
Well, here's the thing. Is this was supposed to be a politically brilliant move for them to highlight the failure of the Afghanistan pullout and show that Trump was sympathetic to fallen soldiers, and it backfired in their fucking faces. That's how great the Trump campaign is going right now. Ha!
An incident, we were told, an altercation between Trump campaign staff and Arlington staff over access to shooting photos or video in Section 60. That's where many of our new war dead are buried. The cemetery put out a statement, which is rare in and of itself, saying that federal law prohibits the creation of any kind of campaign video or campaign content in the cemetery. The Trump statements originally dealt with the idea that he was there at invitation of the families who died, of Gold Star families who lost someone at Abbey Gate, and talked about an individual person who was basically trying to screw that up by blocking their access. What we have seen since is that the Trump campaign and their allies did in fact create campaign content out of this visit. They created a TikTok video set to music showing the former president laying a wreath. You see him there smiling in another photo at a gravesite in Section 60. Now, he was invited to that gravesite by the mother of that Marine who died at Abbey Gate. That's all well and good, but in other photos, you see other graves of people who had nothing to do with Abbey Gate or nothing to do with Donald Trump. And when you talk to veterans or when you talk to people who take the kind of sacred nature of these military cemeteries seriously, they say that it's not up to one individual family to decide how everybody else will be remembered, and it's certainly not appropriate for one family to allow for one political candidate of their choosing to essentially campaign on hallowed ground. This is not the last we've heard about this story. We're continuing to talk to the Trump campaign, and we'll see what more reaction we get from military families about this as the day goes on. Sinclair?
We know you'll stay on it. Garrett Hake, appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Brilliant. Shut up, Lester. Brilliant move. Trump and Governor Brian Kemp in Georgia have apparently buried the hatchet. The very important state of Georgia. Trump will need to carry it in order to win the presidency.
While a fundraiser in Atlanta tomorrow for former President Donald Trump will mark a major milestone and one of the state's most turbulent political relationships.
Yeah, Governor Brian Kemp is expected to co-host that particular event. The two Republicans have had years of friction between them. It's been pretty frosty. 11 Alive's Doug Richards with our 11 Alive's political team has more on why this is so significant.
Republican activists are hoping that the fundraiser here in Buckhead will actually produce a thaw in the improbably icy relationship between Republicans Brian Kemp and Donald Trump.
Your governor. I'm not a fan of your governor.
Just this month, Republican Donald Trump badmouthed Republican Brian Kemp over and over.
Kemp is very bad for the Republican Party. He wouldn't do anything.
And over again at a rally in Atlanta. Governor Kemp wasn't in attendance, and afterward, Kemp responded tersely that he still supported Trump's re-election in November. In the weeks since, the two camps have patched up the relationship, and for good reason, says Republican strategist Brian Robinson.
It's not just about the White House. There's local interest that is involved here.
Robinson points to all the Republican state lawmakers on the ballot across Georgia who don't want a Republican feud to hold back their supporters this fall. If Trump can help Republicans keep solid majorities in the legislature, it would strengthen the Republican governor, motivating Kemp to help Trump now.
Trump needs to do well in Georgia to help Republicans down ticket. So doing anything to turn out votes for Donald Trump helps Brian Kemp here at home.
It's worth noting that Trump will not appear at the fundraiser, though Kemp will. It does raise a question about whether at some point between now and November, Kemp and Trump will actually make a joint appearance. That is unclear at this point. In Buckhead, Doug Richards, 11 Alive News.
Who wants to bet they don't make a joint appearance? No? Perhaps your love of Trump is insatiable, like our friend 8-Bit over here. You can now get a piece of his debate night suit by buying a digital trading card, some sort of NFT bullshit. Supporters of former President Donald Trump can get a piece of the suit he wore during the debate with President Joe Biden that ultimately led to the end of his campaign if they spend nearly $1,500 on an NFT. We have a video posted to social media by Donald Trump on his Truth Social.
Hello, everyone. This is your favorite president, Donald J.
Sir, no.
Trump, with some very exciting news. By popular demand, I'm doing a new series of Trump digital trading cards. You all know what they are. We've had a lot of fun with them. It's called the America First Collection. 50
We've had a lot of fun
trading cards.
Scamming people.
These cards show me dancing and even me holding some Bitcoins. Here's the best part. I'm doing great things for my Trump digital card collection.
And even holding some Bitcoins. Non-fungible textile. This is hilarious. This is yet another grift.
First, there's the real physical Trump cards. Purchase 15 or more of my Trump digital trading cards and we'll mail you a beautiful physical trading card. It's really, I think, quite something. Each physical trading card has an authentic piece of my suit that I wore for the presidential debate. And people are calling it the knockout suit. I don't know about that, but that's what they're calling it.
The knockout suit. Nobody's calling it.
You're going to get a piece of it, and we'll be randomly autographing 5 of them, a true collector's item. This is something to give your
Flash, he's holding Bitcoins.
Children. Number 2 is to purchase 75 of my Trump digital trading cards, and you will also be invited to join me for a gala dinner at my beautiful country club in Jupiter, Florida. We really have tremendous dinners with my collectors. Have a lot of fun together. We're going to have a good time. I'm
the people he's duping.
Trading cards at the same price of $99 each. We've done that right from...
What a steal.
So go to collecttrumpcards.com. It's really easy to buy. You just need an email address and a credit card or crypto. You know, they call me the crypto president. I don't know if that's true or not, but a lot of people...
It's not true.
So don't miss out. Go to collecttrumpcards.com. Go right now and collect your piece of American history. Let's have fun together and enjoy my Trump cards. We're going to have a lot of fun. We'll be talking about it for a long time. Thank you very much. Have a good time.
Let the fight begin.
Now, perhaps that is not enough Trump-related merchandise for your taste. Maybe you've still got some money lying around, and you need the one and only Trump Trout.
A message from the 45th President of the United Ponds of America.
Let's make fishing great again, okay?
He's here, everyone's favorite fish, Trumpy Trout.
No one has ever seen a fish like me.
Trumpy Trout is an animatronic talking fish with a big personality.
I am the hugely bigliest fish in the pond.
Watch his fins flap and his large mouth move as he makes speech after speech in high...
This is real.
Some bass.
Satire's dead.
Crazy fish, criminal fish, and druggy fish. But some bass are good fish, and I only love some of them.
Mount him to your wall or use the built-in stand to display him proudly on your desk. Now you'll never miss a Trumpy Trout rally.
I'm building a new pond.
This is not real? No.
For it.
No. Is it going to be some campaign thing if I call the number? Let's call and see if we can order a Trumpy Trout. That's what I thought it played on Newsmax. That's a real 800 number, isn't it? I mean, it could go to like a Harris campaign or some shit.
Hello, and thank you for calling to catch yourself a Trumpy Trout, the funniest trout ever.
Thanks. I'll take it from here. To ensure the best customer service, this call may be recorded. To place your order, say order or press 1 now. To check the status of an existing order, say status or press 2. Or for more information about Trumpy Trout before placing your order, just say information or press 3. Thank you. Sure, to become everyone's favorite fish, Trumpy Trout is here. This animatronic talking fish has a big personality. Just mount him and watch as his mouth...
I do not want to mount Trumpy Gay Fish.
Trout is motion activated, or you can turn him on to let him delight everyone while he makes...
There's no
speech.
turning Trumpy Trout on.
And now you can catch your very own limited edition Trumpy Trout for just $59.99 plus $9.99 shipping.
What?
Each Trumpy Trout comes with an official Make Great Again.
It shouldn't be $19 at a seen on TV store.
And remember, when you order today,
what bullshit?
Upgrade you to the deluxe Trumpy Trout with a desktop stand, absolutely free. Just say or key in how many you'd like today. Sorry, I didn't get that. Just key in how many you... Tell you what, we'll just put you down for one Trumpy Trout. Let's continue. Now we'll get your name,
along with somebody,
your and shipping information.
I would like to quickly check our phone directory to see if we have your current address. Please wait a moment.
We will now collect your full first and last name. It is important to say and spell your full name correctly, or we will be unable to process your order. After the tone, please clearly say and spell your full name.
Doofus McFuckmuffin.
Okay, you recorded.
Doofus McFuckmuffin.
If the spelling of your name is clear and accurate...
Absolutely.
Set him to motion activated to surprise his fans. Fans.
His fins.
I have the biggest fins. No fish have fins like me.
Or turn him on and let his inspiring words delight the crowd.
All the fish love Trumpy. They just love me.
What?
Trumpy Trout for yourself or someone you love.
Oh, they can try, but they can't. They just can't.
Treat yourself to this limited edition Trumpy Trout for just $59.99. It comes with your official Make Fishing Great
of the Nashville McFuckmuffins.
Order right now and we'll instantly upgrade you to the deluxe version with desktop stand and Trumpy Trout jingle free.
They did nail the neck vagina.
And for even more fun, we'll give you a discount when you buy more than one.
We got the shoreline.
It shouldn't be more than $20. That is absolute bullshit.
Are limited.
Ridiculous.
Chance to hook the greatest fish of all time.
I am the greatest trout, and there is no doubt.
This is a limited from Top Dog Direct. Order now at TrumpyTrout.com. That's TrumpyTrout.com.
If you have
Graves' disease. Yep, satire is dead. Couldn't have said it better. $5.99 plus shipping. Harris and Walz were campaigning together. They prepare for their interview tomorrow night with CNN.
Washington, welcome to America Decides. Vice President Kamala Harris and her running mate Governor Tim Walz hitting the campaign trail in Georgia today. They arrived in Savannah, Georgia a short time ago. They're heading out on a bus tour across the Peach State and will rally in Savannah, Georgia on Thursday. This is the first time they've hit the road since the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. And on the Republican side, former President Donald Trump's campaign is...
He's agreed to it now, foe.
Arlington National Cemetery now says that 2 members of Trump's campaign were involved in an altercation while the former president participated in a ceremony there on Monday. Let's start with our Nancy Cordes, who is following the Harris campaign down in Georgia. Nancy, great to see you. I can't imagine how hot it is down there. How hot's the political scene?
Oh yeah, I'm very much looking forward to the debate.
Definitely heating up, Bob, and I'll tell you why. It's because just about a month and a half ago, our CBS News poll, other polls showed that President Biden, when he was still in this race, was trailing Donald Trump pretty significantly in this state, despite the fact that Biden won this state back in 2020. But now, according to our latest battleground tracker, Vice President Harris, who is at the top of the ticket, is actually neck and neck with Donald Trump.
In Georgia.
The Harris campaign feels that this state is very much up for grabs. Both she and her vice presidential running mate, Governor Tim Walz, arrived here in Georgia this afternoon. They're going to be hitting this, various stops around southeastern Georgia for the next 2 days on a bus tour.
I do want to point out, should there be a Harris win, our side really needs to prepare for the backlash that will come. I mean, we had a more active neo-Nazi movement as a direct result of a black president. A black Indian woman as president is going to blow their fucking minds. They're not going to cope well with it.
Here in Savannah with a rally, by the way, which had to be rescheduled from a few weeks ago. They were planning to do it right after announcing Walz as Harris's running mate, but they had to postpone it because of Hurricane Debbie that was lashing the state.
Fucking Debbie.
That time. And so this is kind of a do-over.
Beyond the stump speeches and the bus tour, what are you hearing from the Harris campaign about the message they're starting to push on advertising in particular?
Well, they've got a new ad out today, Bob, that is all about Project 2025. They continue to hammer Trump over this massive 900-page blueprint that basically is a very conservative vision for the next Republican president of the United States. Trump has disavowed it. He says he had nothing to do with it. He didn't craft it, but the people who did craft it worked in his administration, and a lot of the policies they put forward in Project 2025 mirror policies from his first administration or mirror policies that he has put forward as part of this campaign. So it's been difficult for him to distance himself from Project 2025, and the Harris campaign is going to make sure that it stays a subject of conversation between now and Election Day. They have noticed that it really resonates with their base voters in particular, and their new ad basically lays out a number of the more controversial things that Project 2025 would do, like downsizing the education department, cutting funding for K through 12 schools.
They think that's a good thing, by the way.
New policies regarding abortion. And
right, likes all that.
Arguing that not only does Trump know about this plan, but that he is intimately involved with it.
For those of us, for those watching and joining us today, let's show you a snippet of this ad, and you can judge for yourself whether it's effective.
Defunding K through 12 schools, requiring the government to monitor women's pregnancies, and severe cuts to Medicare and Social Security. Donald Trump may try to deny it, but those are Donald Trump's plans.
Well, revenge does take time.
Nancy, that's the Project 2025 message. We heard that from President Biden for months while he was still in.
J.D. Vance shouted out the co-author at his rally the other day, but they don't know anything about Project 2025. Someone mentioned January 6 Part Deuce, which could possibly happen. I'll be right here with you for it. Gonna be a wild election season, and then the couple months between it. Might be kind of tense at Thanksgiving with your family. New video of Nancy Pelosi on January 6th.
No, but I feel responsible. I mean, we asked them. They put out a piece of paper saying, you know, go through the tunnel, don't go outside.
I've seen this before.
Stuff, but they
at
can't
least this
tell
part.
us what it is. It's too prepared. They want the other side to know. We have responsibility, Terry. We did not have any accountability for what was going on there, and we should have. This is ridiculous. You're going to ask me in the middle of the thing when they've already breached the inaugural stuff that should we call the Capitol Police? I mean, the National Guard? Why weren't the National Guard there to begin with?
They thought that they had sufficient resources.
That is not a question of how they have been. They don't know. They clearly didn't know, and I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for more, because it's stupid that we should be in a situation like this, because they thought they had what? They thought these people would act civilized? They thought these people gave a damn? What is it that is missing here in terms of anticipation? They give us a piece of paper, it says,
Mr. McGovern.
So what's the prospect? We're going to stay here all day, the rest of our lives, or what? We're here until what? Until the National Guard decides to come and get rid of these people? Oh my God, I can't believe the stupidity of this. And I take full responsibility. I just feel sick at what he did to the Capitol and to the country today. So he's got to pay a price for that.
We take an oath to protect our country from all enemies, foreign and domestic. There is a domestic enemy in the White House. And let's not...
So I hadn't seen the last little bit of it there. Was that part of the footage that was like released to Tucker Carlson or some shit like that? And he only released like parts of it. It was like the House Judiciary Committee gave it over to like Tucker Carlson, right? Let's see here. Let's get the commercial break out of the way. See if I can get control of these again, because we still got a lot of news to do. If you're watching on Twitch, we're going to take a 3-minute commercial break. When we come back, we got like all the crime news that is fit to crime. We're going to talk about the explosion of the Boeing like tire in Atlanta. There's a typhoon getting ready to hit Japan. We're gonna have today's edition of what the fuck is going on in Fort Worth. A liquor store owner pulled a gun on would-be robbers. A customer pulled a steak knife on another customer in a restaurant. A firefighter dove from a window. I'm gonna show you a decapitated Bob's Big Boy. A woman jumped a fence to pet a tiger. All that and a lot freaking more on the other side of the commercial break here on the Troll Patrol Live. I'm going to put on yesterday's video, yesterday's pup video. The new kids on the puppy bus. And I'm going to grab a donut because I've kind of got the munchies. And I've got donuts over there, and I don't like to eat on stream.
Up front here.
But I really want a donut. Not the munchies. So.
Carl, stop that. It's for Louie. It's new. It's different. Louie's going to have to check it out first. Carl, who'll eat anything. Carl, did you even chew? Little Max. Murray also has to sniff down a new
Wish I could share donuts with you guys.
Maybe. It's different, yeah. Maybe not.
We don't have the technology yet. I don't even know what kind I got. Did she get an assortment? Whatever is relevant. What did JD Vance say?
There is Zach.
I've got two. One is chocolate glazed, and the other is probably filled with something. Got the chocolate glazed.
Here is Soul. Nope. Chum.
It has cream on the inside. Whatever makes sense.
Dasher. Callie. Bailey.
Like these puppies, I need a treat.
And Telly.
I don't know if this donut is exceptionally good or I'm just exceptionally stoned.
Murray, you want some Stewart's dried salmon bite? It's kind of getting dusty. Yeah, I thought so. There you go. We're at the end of the bucket. Soul Sister, would you like to try some salmon instead? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, baby.
So.
Slow salmon. That's his favorite thing. God damn it, Smokey, I can't see. Get away from my food.
Thank you for riding with Mo Mountain Mutts. Would you guys like a complimentary treat from your friend Nala with your bus ride? Up front here, we have little Louie.
Welcome back, everybody, after the commercial break. We're not going anywhere.
Carl, stop that.
I'm playing last night's animal video. I was eating a donut.
It's new. It's different.
We'll go back to the news here in a second. We got all kinds of crime shit to talk about.
Carl, who'll eat anything. Carl, did you even...
This donut is really fucking good.
Little Max. Murray. Also has to sniff down a new treat. No? Maybe? It's different. Yeah? Maybe not? Bama? Luna?
All dogs are special.
There is Zach. Here is Daishu. Here is Soul. Nope. Chum. Dasher. Callie. Bailey.
Those damn greyhounds are racist against dogs that aren't gray.
And Telly.
Oh, I'm still eating my treat.
Murray, you want some Stewart's dried salmon bite? It's kind of getting dusty. Yeah, I thought so. There you go. We're at the end of the bucket.
I can't wait to find out what's inside that other donut.
Instead?
What's it stuffed with? Raspberry?
Thought so.
If she picked it out, I don't know if she asked for something or if she just got rando stuff, right? If she picked it out, she probably got me like raspberry. Because she knows I fucking love raspberry. I don't know if she picked it out though, you know? Let's go to Japan, where they are buckling down for a typhoon. It's getting ready to make land.
Strong wind and heavy rain lashed southwestern Japan overnight as hundreds of thousands of residents in the path of Typhoon Sansan were ordered to evacuate. Officials say the storm could be one of the strongest to ever hit the region. Major firms like Toyota closed their factories while airlines and rail operators canceled some services. Sansan is barreling towards the main southwestern island of Kyushu, with wind gusts of up to 157 miles per hour. An emergency warning was issued by Japan's meteorological agency, saying the typhoon could bring flooding, landslides, and winds strong enough to knock down some houses. In Gamagori, rescue personnel carried a survivor out from under their damaged home to safety, following a landslide triggered by heavy rain brought on by the typhoon. The meteorological agency said the typhoon is expected to strike Kyushu over the next few days. From there, it's set to approach central and eastern regions around the weekend, including Tokyo. Sansan is the latest harsh weather system to hit Japan. It follows last weekend's Typhoon Ampul, which also led to blackouts and evacuations.
So a typhoon is just a hurricane in the Pacific Ocean, right? Does it have some other distinction to it? I should probably know this. I could look it up if I wanted. Tropical storm in the region of the Indian or Western Pacific Oceans. Okay, so yeah, just depending on where it is, it's in the Indian Western Pacific Oceans. Fair enough. Mama, did I tell you good evening? I'm very glad to see you tonight. Let's go to the airport in Atlanta, where a Boeing tire apparently exploded and killed a couple different workers.
What we start with here at 4:30, questions still remain 24 hours after a federal investigation was opened into a deadly incident that killed 2 workers in the wheel and brake shop at a Delta hangar.
Now, Delta did not provide an update today, but they did tell us yesterday that the incident involved wheel components that were being disassembled for maintenance. 11 Alive's Molly Oak joining us live here at 4:30. Molly, I know you spoke with
Fox,
a airline.
good evening. Was the tire scheduled to testify?
How this could have happened?
Right, because as we continue to press Delta for updates on this investigation, we're trying to get more details on what happens behind the scenes. Remember, this all happened yesterday morning around 5 a.m. at Delta Tech Ops. Now, according to its website, Delta Tech Ops handles maintenance, repair, and overhaul for the airliner. A source close to the investigation tells 11 Alive the accident was a result of several factors with the wheel components malfunctioning. I spoke with a former airline mechanic and former National Transportation Safety Board member, John Golia, about the risks that come with this job. He's calling this incident a tragedy.
But people that write workers' compensation once told me that it's among the most risky jobs that they insure. So there's a lot of injuries.
Mechanics on airlines?
Like this, but a lot of injuries with people falling from high places, the hands getting crushed. But fatalities occur, but not in a great number.
Coming up tonight at 5, he gives us some insight on how he believes something like this could have happened. For now, reporting live, Molly Oak, 11 Alive News.
I mean, I assume it was just a corporation being shitty. That's how everything happens in this country, pretty much. As I feel I illustrated in my discussion with our Mythius. How am I fucking his name up again? I felt like I got it right all through the time we were talking. Armithia. Arithmethia. Why am I saying it with a lisp? God damn it. Buckle up, it's time for today's What the Fuck is Going On in Fort Worth?
Neighbors in Plano are demanding answers right now after a homicide involving 2 men from outside Texas. The body was discovered in someone's backyard on Bending Oak Trail.
Sorry, technically Plano.
Preston Road. As Richard Solomon reports,
not Fort Worth,
may have tried to leave Texas.
Plano police say both the suspect and victim knew each other, but what people who live in this neighborhood can't figure out is why it happened here.
There are many watchful eyes in this Plano neighborhood.
I'm shocked that it's in our neighborhood.
But neighbors didn't see this coming.
There were a lot of cars, police cars especially, and they blocked our alley.
Police tape surrounds a home on Bending Oak Trail where the body of 69-year-old Patrick King of Illinois was found in a backyard Tuesday evening.
Not that he's dead.
They say the call came in around 6:30.
Kind of crazy because I have kids, so it's a little worrying. But, you know, we're relatively close to the police station.
Police say the suspect, 39-year-old Andrew James Swetland from Los Angeles, California, was arrested at DFW International Airport around 5:30 this morning. Jennifer Chapman with Plano PD told me the two knew each other through a family dynamic, but couldn't give more specifics.
You know, the Plano community has always been a safe community.
We are not immune to crime, however.
Police have charged Swetland with murder. And for the people of this neighborhood, what happened on Tuesday night is certainly out of the ordinary.
Really is the first time that we've had anything real in our backyard.
In Plano, I'm Richard Solomon.
Well, go out to, I believe this happened in LA. Rapper Lil Baby arrested legal weapons. Arrested, it was happening in Vegas.
Hey, you got a phone? Yeah. Come here, hey, come here. Hey, I need 20 bands, call his number for me. Hey, security, the black guy, call his number for me. They locking me up for a gun, but I got license.
Better call Saul.
Security, fuck your job. I give you 200 bands a year, I swear to God, security. Security, I give you 200 bands a year. You don't make 200 bands here. Let me go. Yeah, let me just go. Hey, lady, my check leave at 9:10. Right now, LA. For James Harden's birthday. I got a show tonight. Yeah, it's his birthday. I think it's right here. We came here for his birthday. I came with myself, so I had to be right. I ain't sure about that. Take my pants down. You want to take my pants down? Nah, I don't want to do that. Y'all search me good. If I go to jail with a gun, y'all die. So make sure y'all check me good. Nah, check me good. I got a gun in my nuts. Check me good. You on the camera? I got a gun in my nuts. Check me good.
Check me good. I got a gun in my nuts.
Gun. Alright, y'all let me in that car, shoot myself in the head. Y'all fire super hard. I'm gonna shoot myself in the head when I get in the car. I got a gun in my nuts.
He's kicking authority in the balls.
Check Billy. Gotta go in with it. Go in my nuts. No, I got it.
Go in my nuts.
I got it going.
Thank you, TMZ. That was pretty fun. I thought it looked like a female cop, but I don't think it was. I think it might have been a dude. Didn't have any facial hair. It looked really smooth. It was grabbing his dick. It'd be funny if he really did have one in his balls. This dude really does have a gun. He owns a liquor store apparently, and these would-be robbers fucked around and found out. It happened to New York. Shocking footage posted to Instagram shows a horde of bicyclists who, it happened in California. It was a California liquor store. They fled in a panic after the store's clerk pulled a gun on the crowd. An unidentified employee was standing outside Golden Hours Liquor in Oakland August 24th when he was confronted. The worker attempted to get in the face of one of the bikers before dozens more jumped the clerk, landing punches. Police located evidence of a shooting, but there were no reports of any injuries. And then fear-mongering about crime statistics. I just wanted to see the video. New York Post. I don't know. They said they found evidence of a shooting, but it didn't seem that he pulled the trigger that we could see. Apparently he missed if there was no indication that there was someone hit. There was no victim. Also, you might not want to go, if you're involved in a robbery, you might want to go to the hospital after getting shot. Customer pulled a steak knife on another customer at a New Jersey restaurant, and we have it on video.
Knife in your hand?
These are old dudes.
A restaurant melee. Diners shocked when a man pulls a steak knife on another diner over a minor mistake. Good evening, I'm Chuck Scarborough. A man from Florida is facing charges for the chaos at the high-end rum.
Of course he's from Florida.
Celebrity chef. The video of the altercation has gone viral already. Police say it started with a spilled glass of wine, followed by a punch thrown at a manager, and then that shocking incident with the knife. News 4's Adam Harding is live in Rumson with the wild scene for us. Adam.
And Chuck, good evening to you.
Fucking Adam.
After they arrived on a report of a man with a knife attacking another customer, they say they saw the same man then punch a manager. Tonight, it is shocking this community, and a man is now facing serious charges.
You got a knife in your hand?
A wild scene inside an upscale New Jersey restaurant now circulating on social media. Pay close attention as a man is seen holding what police describe as a steak knife after a fight broke out at the dinner room table. It happened last Thursday at the Red Horse restaurant in Rumson. Police say
the Red Horse.
75-year-old David Gully from Florida lunged at a customer after wine was spilled on the victim's wife. Officers were called to the scene and say they saw Gully punch a manager. Tonight, Gully now facing a number of charges, including aggravated assault, possession of a weapon, terroristic threats, and disorderly conduct. The restaurant is owned by
that sounds like a good time.
David Burke, who says in a statement tonight, in the grand scheme of things, this was a minor, although admittedly unusual incident that my staff handled very well. I am proud of them. They did exactly what they should have done. Intervened to defuse the situation and called the police.
This guy sounds nice.
We're told
very complimentary of his staff.
Seriously injured, though cut in the hand, refused medical treatment on scene. As for Gully, the suspect in all of this, he was released after being issued a summons. We're live in Rumson. I'm Adam Harding, News 4 New York.
He just got a summons. Assault with a deadly weapon. Well, it said, hold on, it said, it said steak knife. I thought it said butter knife. You ain't gonna stab somebody with a butter knife. I think we have some heroic video of a firefighter now. This happened in Pittsburgh. Or outside of Pittsburgh.
New video tonight shows a local fire chief diving from a burning home after trying to save a pregnant woman trapped inside.
Oh, God.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. At 11, I'm Ken Rice. Tonight, KDK's Jennifer Barrasso talked to that fire chief. She joins us live with that video and some new information on the fire investigation. Jen.
Ken, so sources tell me that the deadly fire in El Rema, Washington County appears to be accidental at this time. The state police fire marshal investigating how and where it started. Now, the fire chief, the Jefferson Hills fire chief, Brian Chalfant, responded. Firefighters say he put his life on the line trying to save a pregnant woman who later died at the hospital.
Oh.
KDKA got the dramatic video, the harrowing moments. Jefferson Hills Fire Chief Brian Chalfant jumping out of a second-floor window. He tells me he got dispatched just before 5 Friday morning. Sources say 19-year-old Sabrina Boyle, who was pregnant, called 911 for help to a house fire in El Rema, Washington County. There was fire blowing out everywhere. Sources say she was trapped inside and gasping for air when she suddenly stopped talking. After the chief pulled up, he used a ladder to get to that window, went through flames, picking Boyle up and carrying her back, handing her off to another firefighter and diving out of the window. Boyle was rushed to the hospital. She and her baby boy died. Boyle's boyfriend and his parents got out. Chief Chalfant suffered severe burns. He posted these pictures on Facebook. Injuries to his left hand, tricep, and both shoulders. The fire so intense, it damaged the chief's personal equipment. He wrote, "Please keep the family and friends who lost their loved one in your prayers." He also said he was here today for several reasons. God, 2 guardian angels,
shut the fuck
Sean
up.
Witten and Dan Stack, and my training. Never stop training. Everyone else who was in that house got out okay. Now, a family friend tells us Sabrina Boyle was about 24 weeks pregnant. She was going to have a baby boy. Now, I'm also told Jefferson Hills Fire. They held peer counseling tonight.
This one's bittersweet.
On the scene, and that includes Jefferson Hills and Finleyville Southeast Regional.
Yeah, a good and horrible story.
KDK TV News.
I hate to bring you that kind of a story. From here on out, it's pretty absurd. Getting to the fun shit. I'm not gonna hit you with a pregnant woman dying anymore, unless you like are really upset. Because Curiouser was really upset about this one. Because I told her about it while she was here, and she was very sad. But I found it funny. A crash in California has resulted in a decapitated Bob statue in front of Bob's Big Boy.
It's some breaking news from Downey. A driver has been hospitalized after crashing into a fire hydrant and power pole overnight. This happened around 2 o'clock this morning at Firestone Boulevard and Old River School Road. Witnesses say the woman lost control, sheared a hydrant, sending it flying towards the Bob's Big Boy statue nearby. That hydrant struck the top of the figure, breaking it. The driver ended up trapped in the vehicle for about 30 minutes. The firefighters used the jaws of life to rescue her. She was taken to the hospital in unknown condition. It's unclear what caused her to crash.
Yeah, but is the Bob gonna make it? That's what everyone's concerned about. Apparently the student that was a pre-law student arrested after trying to flee the scene of a car crash. Not what you should do if you know anything about the law.
An 18-year-old pre-law student was arrested after police say she tried to flee the scene of a North Babylon crash that left a victim with a severed leg. The driver tells our Jennifer
Goddamn!
It was a tragic accident.
A brick slammed through the windshield.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't know. Well, there's no pregnant woman death. I didn't know it was going to have a severed leg. I thought we were down to just the fun stuff. Making fun of Bob's Big Boy getting decapitated. My apologies.
The Mercedes 6 p.m. Tuesday thrown by a man who neighbors call a hero for stopping a driver from fleeing the scene.
You could hear her speeding down the street, the screech before the crash, and then it was just a big boom.
Video shows the car careening down
Holy shit.
North Babylon, seconds later slamming into a utility pole which snapped. Amid the chaos, a Good Samaritan rushed to help. Instead, police say the driver backed over and pinned 54-year-old Edward Marone.
He was just trying to get out the car to see if she was okay. Pinned him in between her car and his car, and he lost his leg in it.
18-year-old Marianne McCurchin was arrested for attempting to flee the scene of a crash.
All fun and games.
My car and I hit into a pole, and I was trying to move my car away from the exposed electrical wires.
You're a pre-law student. You should not be talking. You should not be giving a statement. What the fuck are you doing? Stupid. But they said 18, so pre-law doesn't mean anything. She's just fucking a freshman.
I was not trying to flee the scene. I was in a moment of panic. My heart was beating 180 beats per minute.
McCurchim, a Fordham pre-law student, was taking Armenian pastry to her friend's house. She said she was surrounded on the street. Following the booming crash, there was no intention to flee, claiming backing over the Good Samaritan was an accident. That's when the brick came flying.
Thank God that windshield stopped it, because if that hit me, I would be dead.
Because everybody came running out.
What?
Trying to get her to stop, and she just kept on going.
Obviously, I blew 0.00. I got a blood test taken.
McCurchin was taken to the precinct where she was handcuffed and questioned all night. 11 hours later, released on a desk appearance ticket. McCurchin says she grieves for the man whose leg she ran over and hopes to prove in court she was scared and not fleeing. The victim remains in serious condition. On Long Island, Jennifer.
How can you be scared and not fleeing? You were scared and fleeing. Holy shit. It was a very 70s time. Apparently the 70s were coming back into vogue. A woman has been charged after jumping a barrier in order to pet a tiger at a zoo.
Police in New Jersey say they have identified the woman who they claim jumped a fence to try to pet a tiger at the zoo. Bridgeton police say charges were signed against 24-year-old Zaire Dennis of Millville, New Jersey, for defiant trespassing. They had released this video of the incident, hoping someone could identify the suspect. The video shows a woman come face-to-face with a Bengal tiger at the Cohasset Zoo.
Almost get her hand bit off.
Her reach over the wire fence, and the tiger lunge at her, nearly biting her hand. She then retreated to the other side of the wooden fence, which clearly states not to enter beyond that point. Cops say 2 city ordinances were issued pertaining to climbing fences at the zoo. Dennis will have to appear in municipal court for these charges, but a date has not yet been set.
I would love to pet a tiger. I would absolutely love to pet a tiger. But like, you run a risk of a tiger biting your hand off. A self-driving Waymo car was caught going the wrong way into traffic in Arizona. These things are a fucking public nuisance and should be banned forthright.
No! They turned...
Oh, wow. All right, so this video was taken Friday in Arizona. 2 women say that they were driving when a Waymo car came into their lane after it made a turn. The women say that they were worried about a head-on collision, so they got out of the way. They say the driverless car just kept going.
If a person made that mistake where it's like they're driving down the wrong side of the road, I don't think you should have your license, you know? That's the thing, like if you pull a Waymo over, like odds are there's probably not going to be a driver in it, so it's like who is...
This is a self-driving car that is being tested in some ritzy areas in Arizona, California, and I think a couple of other places. And it is going horribly. Going incredibly horribly.
Held accountable for those individual mistakes.
In a statement, Waymo says the vehicle had to reroute its course because of a traffic light change, and that vehicle safely cleared the intersection. Waymo says it is always working to refine its systems and improve safety.
Fuck you, Waymo. We are not at the point where we can have self-driving cars. Nabil, I'm sorry to break your brain. I felt like he wanted to divert from politics. Did anybody else get that vibe? He kept wanting to talk. He like, and fair enough, I like to talk about music and shit. I don't think I called him stupid. Did I ever call him like a dumb fuck or I think I said like, do you hear how stupid you sound a few times. A couple of times. And like his videos were decent. They were well done. I cracked him up a few times. I think I set the record straight on my Destiny debate, and it was civil. A 4-year-old accidentally shattered a Bronze Age jar at a museum. A 4-year-old boy accidentally smashed a Bronze Age jar at an archaeological museum in Haifa, Israel. The ancient artifact, which experts say was at least 3,500 years old, was on display without a glass case That probably should have been a thing. Near the Institute's entrance at the time of the incident. In a statement emailed to CNN on Wednesday, the Hecht Museum defended its decision to present certain objects without protective glass, adding that its founder, Reuben Hecht, had emphasized making artifacts accessible to the public. The museum believes there's a special charm in experiencing an archaeological find without any obstructions, the statement said, adding that the institution would continue this tradition despite the incident. Speaking to the BBC, the child's father... Oh, do we have an interview? We don't have video? God damn it. The child's father said his son had pulled the jar slightly on a visit to the museum last Friday because he was curious about what was inside. The man added that he was shocked to see his son beside the broken artifact and had initially thought it wasn't my child that did it. The boy's parents could not immediately be reached by CNN. Fraud isn't a crime. I don't, and that's another thing, like the whole, like, the argument that we had to begin with was like the George Floyd thing. And I was like, they ruled it a homicide. I saw it with my own eyes that the cops killed him. The jury found it to be a homicide. Like, what else is there? Like, anything else is like just your opinion, man. I hate children. That's another reason to hate children. DJ Dub, I keep having to approve you. Your bitch ass roads. Residents raised $20,000 after town officials shut down boy's ice cream stand. Danny's mom encouraged him to start up his ice cream stand as long as half of his profits went to a charity. This kid's gonna kick authority in the balls.
He's kicking authority in the balls.
Bored and looking for something to do this summer, Danny Daughtery hatched a plan to raise money for his brother's hockey team by selling homemade ice cream, which is fucking excellent. If you've never had homemade ice cream, you are missing out. Especially if you have fresh milk. This sounds wild, but for a few weeks, Justin lived on a farm. And I've eaten fresh pork. I ate fresh. I can't talk tonight. I'm getting very tired. I ate fresh hamburger. Georgie, go ahead, light one up, tip one back. So fucking good. Fresh ice cream, amazing. But a few days after setting up a stand and serving up vanilla, shaved chocolate, and fluffermutter to... What is fluffermutter? I've never even... What is fluffermutter ice cream? Is that a Ben & Jerry's fucking thing? Peanut butter and marshmallow. Ew. Guess it's a New England thing. This happened in Massachusetts. Okay, that makes sense. Told that about 20 people, Danny's family received a letter from the Norwood Board of Health ordering it shut down. Town officials had received a complaint and said that the 12-year-old scheme violated the Massachusetts Food Code. I was surprised and upset, he said of the letter that came on August 5th. I don't understand because there are so many lemonade stands and they don't get shut down. Danny's mom, Nancy Daughtery, who had encouraged her son to start the stand as long as he donated half of the proceeds to charity, was also taken aback. Somebody complained that was the most disappointing part for us, that somebody thought it was necessary to complain about a child's stand. Agreed. It seemed a little, crazy if you ask me. Rather than give up, Danny decided to give away the ice cream and accept donations for the Boston Bear Club, a team featuring players with physical and developmental disabilities, including his brother, who is autistic. That's when the neighborhood fundraiser blew up and became the talk of Norwood, a suburban town about an hour from Boston. The first day it gave away the ice cream. Supplies ran out in 10 minutes, and $1,000 was raised. Then word began to spread about the fundraiser and Danny's clash with the town. Local media ran stories about the stand, prompting scores of local businesses to hold their own fundraisers for the hockey team. Among them was Furlong's Candles, which teamed up with Boston radio station WWBX to hold a fundraiser in their parking lot. They raised $3,600 on a day when lines stretched out the door. Danny was trying to do a good thing for his brother's team, and it's not just a regular hockey team. They need a lot more. They need a lot more equipment. We were like, this is a perfect situation for us to get involved. This is according to Nancy Thrasher, the co-owner of the store. Thrasher said she understood why the stand had to be shut down, but she still felt bad. My heart broke for the kid. He was just trying to do good for his brother's team. Town officials, meanwhile, said that they received hate mail and death threats over the dispute, which they suggested had been badly mischaracterized in the media. They argued the family had sold their homemade ice cream before and even promoted it on social media. The letter, officials said, was only sent after the town received several complaints and unsuccessfully tried to contact the family, something the Dohertys dispute. We had to deal with staff who were upset that they were being threatened. People had gone online and found their address simply for sending a letter after having reached out to somebody and said, look, there's a violation here. According to Tony Mazuko. What was the violation? Mazuko. Norwood Town's manager. It's the first time in recent memory that the town has shut down an ice cream stand, he said, adding that Massachusetts law allows for things like lemonade stands and bake sales, but not homemade ice cream. Mazuko also said there was a legitimate health concern since homemade ice cream can be contaminated with listeria, monocotyledons, or other bacteria. Danny's situation is not altogether unusual. Youth elsewhere have also seen their lemonade stands or pop-up bake sales shuttered, often for failing to have a business or health permit. The raw milk is a concern, but if you're getting it straight from the source, if you know the source, they're your friends and neighbors, you can probably trust it. Just saying. I'm going to hit you with a double whammy. Two different wrestlers. Two completely different stories. Yeah, that didn't actually go into it in the story, but it made it seem like it was like on their little farm or some shit. On Twitter, hate speech is so common that celebrities like John Cena follow white nationalists. That's all, Mox. That's also a concern with bird flu going around. John Cena has a rosy reputation. Let me pull this up. I'm having a hard time reading it. The beloved 16-time champion pro wrestler, blockbuster movie star, Guinness World Record holder for most wishes granted through the Make-A-Wish Foundation. In the eyes of the public, he's wholesome, all-American. So why is his following prominent white supremacist, anti-Semites, and hate accounts on Twitter? It's probably not on purpose. If, as seems more probable, these accounts were indiscriminately followed by Cena's team without knowledge of the content they shared, underscores a crucial brand safety problem with X since Musk acquired the platform, and slashing moderation, welcoming back banned users, algorithmically boosting paid verified accounts, and promising the privilege of absolute free speech to far-right ideologues. Musk created favorable conditions for misinformation and hate speech to run rampant and rack up engagement. And while following a toxic account cannot be taken as a de facto endorsement, many of the feeds mentioned in the article are tracked by misinformation researchers, for example. It can be perilous for those with a certain image to protect. Like many famous people, Cena has a Twitter account mainly for promotional purposes. His latest tweets publicize his new Prime Video action comedy Jackpot, Unlike most other famous people, however, Cena follows a tons of users on the site, more than 850,000 at this point. And the Reporter's one of them. A handful of big accounts are known to cast such a wide social net. For whatever reason, actor Taye Diggs and broadcaster Soledad O'Brien also follow hundreds of thousands. It stands to reason that none of these individuals can possibly keep up with everything on their feed, and it would also make sense if they followed many of these accounts without carefully vetting their content. It is likely, too, that social editors or teams are managing these public profiles on these celebrities' behalf, but given Cena's persona and the Rise Above Hate hashtag in his bio, it's strange to see that he follows someone like Andrew Torba, the anti-Semitic CEO of Gab, social media haven for white nationalists and neo-Nazis, or Steve Saylor, a notorious eugenist who writes for the anti-immigration hate website VDare. Both Diggs and O'Brien follow him too, intentionally or not. Or Erin Elizabeth, a health influencer who claims that more people have died from vaccines than were killed in the Holocaust. Cena did not respond to a request for comment. That was your shot. Here is your chaser. Legendary wrestling villain from the UK, Kendo Nagasaki. I've never heard of him before. This is my first experience with him, but he's apparently legendary in the UK. Kendo Nagasaki plans to sell off $1.5 million 50-room mansion to fund new LGBTQ plus Zen Buddhism classes, while also plotting a return to the ring at age 82. God damn. Legendary TV wrestling villain Kendo Nagasaki is planning to sell off his $1.5 million mansion. World of Sport superstar, whose real name is Peter Thornley from Stoke, was famous for his signature kamikaze crash slam, and he appeared in the ring under the guise of a masked Japanese samurai and mystical sensei. Libertad, good evening. You can vouch for him being a legend. But decades after his heyday on the national screens, he now wants to downsize from his huge Stoke-on-Trent home to Blackpool, where he owns a men-only hotel. He hopes to teach the Lancashire LGBTQ community the art of Zen Buddhism at the seaside town. He's even training for a return to the sport as a pensioner on the 60th anniversary of his first showing, which would make him the oldest professional wrestler. Dory just wrestled at 80. Dory Funk Jr. wrestled a match in Japan. A spokesperson for Nagasaki told The Sun, Peter is always looking to extend the reach of his Buddhist work, and this is a big motivator for the move away. There's a picture of him behind his mask. His real name is Peter Thornley. You can see him at, this was in 2005, in the 60s. Is that Haystacks Calhoun? Giant haystacks. That's a badass outfit, but it looks more medieval than Japanese, I think. I did not find an animal video for. I'm slacking. Did I play this one the other night? We'll watch. I might have played it. It might have been the during the DNC. That's fucking cute. You little buddy. I can't wait to eat this other donut. I want to find out what it is. I don't even know what it is. I assume it's stuffed with something. Got some kind of cream on the inside of it. I might be losing my voice, to be honest with you. I'm starting to feel a little hoarse. I'll do my best to have a show tomorrow. My mouth hurts. I'm tired. My mouth hurts. I'm starting to feel like I got a little scratchy throat. Watching on Twitch, you're heading over to Echoplex Media. It is the Intellectual Dollar Tree. Producer Dave. Can't see, but I would assume HK is with him. I take real good care of you. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's alright to have a little fun before you hit the sack. JustinFREAKIN. I will most likely see you tomorrow night on the Troll Patrol, live.